You're listening to The Pete Shepard Show.
Good morning, everybody. How are you on this outstanding Thursday morning? I am so psyched. I am so jacked and pumped, to quote Pete Carroll back in the day. It's going to be a hell of a show today, let me tell you, man. And we're going to have a lot of college football going on today because week one begins this evening, including two of the bigger games. Minnesota hosting North Carolina at 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock. The Bison of North Dakota State, my new favorite team for today, going to play in Boulder against Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes. Get to more on the Bison in case you don't know about their incredible background. I'll just throw one number at you right away. And most of you follow college football, know how good that team is in FCS. They're so good, they actually got votes, finishing number 29 one year in the AP poll. The AP poll can actually factor in FCS teams if they want to. But I will tell you this, that team since 2011 is 149-12. That is a 935 winning percentage. And I'll just leave it there. Buffaloes are going to have their hands full tonight. Anyway, huge show lined up for you today. Lots of college football, NFL camp news. Gerard Mayo is going to flip a coin in front of the presser later on today and decide who the quarterback's going to be. Heads is Jacoby Brissett. Tails will be Drake May. Joe Milton III will have to wait for another day. It's a bizarre situation. Finally, officially, we see what in Pittsburgh anyway. At least Mike Tomlin made a decision there. Russell Wilson will take over Justin Fields. So we have that. Lots of other NFL sound for you. Lots of college football sound. Lots of great video. Some craziness last night in Major League Baseball. And some cool stuff as well. But I got some fantastic video, including, Angel, one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen. 8-6-2-3-2-5-4. Sounds like a locker combination or something like that. 8-6-2-3-2-5-4. That was a double play started by Aaron Judge last night against the Washington Nationals in a losing effort. I have the video for you. The bizarre 8-6-2-3-2-5-4 double play. You don't want to miss that. A lot of Miami Hurricane and Florida Gator talk as we get ready for their game coming up on Saturday, which I am leaving for Gainesville tomorrow, right after the show. Awesome guest lined up today. Speaking college football, Jay Flannelly is going to join me from BeavsWorld.com. He's coming on at 8:30. He's originally from Andover, Mass., but he has been living in Ann Arbor for quite some time. He is so connected to the Wolverine program. You are not going to believe some of the stuff that this guy knows. And I finally watched, not finally, because it's only been out a couple of days. I got to see the Connor Stallions documentary, A Sign Stealer, yesterday on Netflix. Absolutely mind blown. Mind blown. And I might be changing my mind on a couple of things. I cannot recommend it enough. You got to see it. This guy is Connor Stallions. Not only, is a brilliant academic person who went to the Naval Academy and then was a Marine, served our country. A fascinating man. And the documentary, it's going to open your eyes to a lot of things. Some stuff you may say, okay, I understand that. I know that. Other stuff, it's going to make you think. It's made me rethink a couple of things as well, which I will get into. So Jay Flannelly is going to join us, see what he thinks about it at 8:30 this morning, Eastern time. And then at 9:30, my man Wig is going to join us. He is one of the all-time great callers in Southwest sports fans in Southwest Florida. You know him from when Craig and I worked. I think he still goes on their station on Wednesdays. We had Week Wednesday with him back at ESPN Southwest Florida. He is so funny and very knowledgeable and really tied in to the football scene down here in Southwest Florida. Really is. Great, super guy. And he has got more swag, garb. Angel, you got to see, and maybe I was trying to find a picture. I couldn't post a picture of him up on, like I don't normally do on Facebook. I always post a picture of who's coming up on the show with for guests and everything on that very day. I thought I had some pictures of Wig, and I don't. But maybe he'll send some. You have to see. He lays out shit on his bed. And we say good morning to Angel Martinez. So good morning, Angel. So besides a whole bunch of college football news today, we'll have NFL stuff, MLB rundown. I have a list of the rudest cities in America, the Counter Stallion stuff. We say good morning to Angel Martinez. So when Wig calls in, maybe he can, before I'm going to text him, tell him to send a picture of the garb. He has so much Miami Hurricane and Miami Dolphin stuff. Must be 500 hats, shirts. I'm not kidding. It's insane what this guy has.
Good Lord.
Oh yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, he has come to a remote that we did. I first met him, must have been 7 years ago. It was at the Buffalo Wild Wings. We were doing something, NFL draft party or something. And he changed outfits, I think, 3 times during the remote.
That's it. Makes it more interesting.
All Dolphin gear that night because he was switching stuff around. But he is a character. He's a great guy. He's one of my favorite all-time sports radio callers in any market. He's great. So he's going to check in at 9:30. But I want him to put a picture up to show his garb. Maybe he'll take a picture of his closet with all the stuff in it. But he used to send us pictures before the game, and and we always find out who the Hurricanes, what they're wearing. So it's going to be green and orange this Saturday. The Gators are wearing white at home, which I can't remember the last time the Gators wore white at home. I understand it because of the heat, but both teams are used to playing, in the kind of heat that's going to happen at the Swamp on Saturday. So it's been a little bizarre to me. I don't know if they're fucking with the Hurricanes' minds or trying to, I don't know, wearing the white that's supposed to intimidate them, but it's not going to work. I'm expecting one hell of a game. We'll get into it more. There's some great, I got a great cut from the ACC network yesterday with Cam Ward. Really, really interesting discussion. Really good questions that were asked, including things like, why should everybody believe in this Miami Hurricane team as opposed to, in the past? And you cannot live in the past, as I say all the time. But anyway, Angel, how you doing? Weather down here is picture perfect so far. This morning, 75 degrees here in Fort Myers. How you doing up in Tampa? What's going on up there?
So apparently yesterday we were hearing a thunderous amount of thunder. It was like one after the other. Only come to find out, not that far away from us, apparently there was a tornado that ended up touching down. And then also they had golf-sized ball hail. Yeah, as well. So it was apparently it was some places it was kind of touchy-feely. You were supposed to get some of that stuff again today, but they said that it was the collision of the ocean air and then the Gulf air, and it met like directly in the middle, and that's what caused the inland effect as far as the tornado and the Gulf-sized hail. But hey,
you know what? Yesterday, it's funny you say around. I'd say 4:00 yesterday afternoon. We had between 3 and 4, some massive thunder and lightning. Not a lot of rain, but some massive thunder and lightning. So much so, we get a lot of thunder down here, but very rarely does it shake the house. My house was shaking yesterday on certain thunderclap. And then you looked out. It was fairly bright, except there's one patch of these gray clouds that were funnel-esque. Like you could see it, but it was only a small area. And I'm like, Jesus, are we going to get? And then my phone starts going off, and my email starts going off. A severe thunderstorm by warning. They really kind of overdo it. I don't need 5 messages in 5 minutes. A phone call, a text. I don't need 5 messages. I get it. And most of us get it down here, after going on, 8 years down here. We get it. Do I need 5 messages, in the span of 5 minutes? No.
Yeah.
No, I don't. One's enough. I get it. And you and we expect thunder showers June, July, and August at some point every single day. Every single day. It eases up in September usually, but that's just the way it is. I mean, if you're down here, you get it. It may not. And I'm not talking about all day showers, but you're expecting midday showers / thunderstorms of some sort between Tampa Bay and Fort Myers every single day in the summer. That's just the way it is on the whole. But anyway, so glad. But anyway, so that man, there's a lot of stuff going on. But I heard some of your show yesterday. Good stuff. I heard some Accused show, great stuff. Love what's going on, and we're just kicking ass and taking names here, baby. on the Coastal Sports Network. And thanks, everybody, for checking us out as well on the video platform. Follow me at pshep326 on Twitter, X, Facebook, SR1029thegame.com, Ion TV, CSN Florida, Rumble, Spotify, LinkedIn, Twitch, and YouTube. We get a lot of listeners on LinkedIn, I think, as well. Call or text 727-858-6650. Then you can go back and check out rss.com/podcast for all the podcast stuff. So what else am I missing, Angel? We got a lot of stuff going on. This is great.
No, that's it. Other than there's a good amount of folks, good amount of traffic on the website. We do appreciate. Goodness gracious, that's when you have a lot of stuff on your mind. But no, a lot of traffic on the website, which is really nice. And thank you guys for visiting SR1029thegame.com. Don't forget to download the app. Therefore, when you're on the go, anywhere you are, if you leave from the house, you're working out, heading out to the gym, we don't ever want you guys heard Pete say this before too, we don't want you guys looking at your phone while you're driving. Put it on your car, put it in the Bluetooth. You can listen in, and then when you arrive at the gym or wherever it is that you're going to, then you can go back and, say, all right, I'm good. I don't have to worry about it anymore. Now I can go back and watch the live video. So thanks to everyone who visits the site. We do appreciate it. And all the love and support. We can't thank you guys enough.
All right, I'm gonna start today with some Hurricane stuff, some college football stuff. It's week 1 tonight, Angel. You excited? You excited? I know Minnesota, North Carolina may not, give you goosebumps, but nevertheless, it's going to be a great game. The Carolina's favored by 2 on the road in Minnesota. ACC versus the Big Ten. So it's actually it's big game for anybody in the ACC. You want North Carolina to win because it makes it better whether you're a Miami Hurricane fan or Florida State or BC, whatever, Georgia Tech, doesn't matter who you're rooting for. You want anytime the ACC is playing out of conference, you want them to win. So it's better. It's better for the conference, and it makes for better rankings. If you should beat the team that beat the team from the Big Ten, that kind of stuff. So we all know how that works. So are you excited about tonight, Angel? I know you got a lot going on. But
yeah, kind of. I'm pretty excited. The big thing is because I have the women's soccer match out and have to watch tonight for Kansas.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. But yeah, other than that, there's what I believe is.
Where are they playing at Kansas? USF's at Kansas.
Kansas. Yep. Kansas.
Wow. Lawrence. Oh boy. Yep. Well, that's a nice haul in the end of the summer.
Yep, it is. But they arrived, I believe, last night, so they're there for tonight's game, 7:00.
Is Kansas ranked?
No, not yet. Not that at least when I checked it, I didn't see they were ranked. I believe they were 4th in their division.
Yeah.
But I didn't see they weren't ranked. USF's not ranked either. So no, not that I can see, not early on.
All right. Well, let's start with some college football here again, and I'll get into the North Dakota State Bison and the freaking unbelievably awesome numbers that they have. They go up against Buffalo today. We can scroll down on my Twitter to Luther Luke Campbell. You might know him, the bad boy of hip hop, founder of the South Hip Hop Free Speech Supreme Court winner. You can check him out at lukerecord.com, and he's also a gigantic Hurricane fan. He kind of has a little Ed Reed look to him. Current Ed Reed, a little gray in the beard and all that stuff. And great, obviously one of the greatest players in Hurricane history. But here's his thoughts about the upcoming Hurricanes Florida game at the Swamp on Saturday, 3:30.
Welcome, my good friends and countrymen, into my little place right here. It is Gator Week. It is Gator Week. It is University of Miami versus the Gators. It's not going to be a tropical storm that comes into Gainesville. It's going to be a category fucking A. Yeah, we're going to whoop y'all ass. It's all about the U. It's all about the U. Them Canes. Welcome,
Nice.
my good friends and countrymen.
So this show I was watching it this morning, and he used, I couldn't see. I didn't have my glasses on. When he was pointing to the U on his, the emblem on his shirt. I thought he was touching his nipple, but he wasn't. Oh man, that's I might play that over in my drive, in my 3 hour and 45-minute drive tomorrow morning / afternoon after the show. I might just have that. I could change that, him singing as my ringtone, at least for the weekend. It's all about the you. Yep. And I know I'm just hoping that I want peaceful banter. No crazy. Just like I said, I worry about games like this rivalry game. I know Florida State Miami is much more heated than Miami than the Hurricanes and Gators. But I want peace, and I don't want to see any fights in the stands or anything stupid like that. Like I said, you can have a lot of fun. Doesn't matter who you're rooting for up there or where you are. Uh, I don't want to see any bar fights. I don't want to see people just being completely disrespectful. Just have fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. I haven't been this excited. I don't go to a lot. I've gone to Hurricane games since I've been down there at Hard Rock, but this is I got to be honest with you, 38 years of doing this, and I've been to a lot of arenas and a lot of stadiums, but at football, it's been mostly NFL stuff. I haven't really had the opportunity to go to a big time college football game in my life. I've always wanted to go bucket list. Obviously, I want to go to the Horseshoe, I want to go to the Big House, I want to go to LSU at night. And the Swamp is always a place that I've always wanted to go. So I am. This is like Christmas Eve for me. I am really, really excited, just as a college football fan, but even because the team that I've loved since I was 9 years old in 1976, and rooted for them through the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's just going to make it extra special. And the fact that we are, you're not going to believe these seats. What did my buddy Lou, who set this whole thing up? Lou, Mary, I am in section 36, row 20, right on the 50-yard line, back of the Miami Hurricane bench. It's just high enough where you can see over everything.
Right.
Because you don't want to sit in the front row at these games because you can't see over the players. I mean, so he went all out. I mean, this guy, and I've never met him face to face before. We've been friends on Facebook and for years, and I've talked to him and gone back and forth on the telephone sometime and texting, but I've never met him face to face. So again, section 36, row 20. I cannot. 50-yard line pregame party at Capone's tomorrow night, 6:30. By the way, everybody. And your name has to be on a list. If you're a Hurricanes fan, I don't know who you got to contact, but I guess we're in a little private area. Your name's going to be on a list to get in because the place gets rocking. It's crazy. It's a huge, as you would expect, a huge Florida Gator nightclub. So we got Capone's at 6:30 tomorrow night, and then what did I do? And then if you are going, because I've gotten some texts from some people, including Wig. Wig's trying to get there too. I wish I had extra ticket for you, Wig, but I don't. But afterwards, at the state on Saturday. So Friday night, 6:30 at Capone's. On Saturday, if you're going to be there, it's at Reitz Union on the North Lawn. There is a huge 1 to 3 p.m. The game's at 3:30. A huge kickoff party, tailgate, all you can eat buffet, 2 drink tickets for beer or wine for guests 21 years and up, obviously. Live DJ, guest appearances, and a special gift for each guest. I'm special. A special gift for each guest. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be on, right at the stadium a couple hours before. I believe at Capone's, Mark Thomas is going to be showing up tomorrow night. He's just one past Hurricane great that's going to be there, and many others. It's just going to be phenomenal. I'm so excited. I can't even tell you.
So I'm gonna show up tomorrow. I'm just gonna tell me you guys don't recognize. I'm Pete Shepard. Yeah, I'm a little bit shorter. Just on TV, I look bigger.
Whatever works for you. I wanted to get into a little bit. We get a lot of video to play for you this morning, and before again at 8:30. Jay Flannelly live from Ann Arbor, Michigan. I think he lives at the Big House. I'm almost half making that up. He lives like a block and a half away from it. This guy has been connected to Michigan football for a long. Graduation. They're very connected to Tom Brady. ESPN is so connected to Michigan football. ESPN and Sports Illustrated have done pieces about him in the past. But I was actually taking notes. I have a little notepad by my television, separate notepad that I take anything that I see or hear. I jot down notes. But I was taking notes during the documentary yesterday of Sign Stealer about
Right.
Counter Stallions. My mind is absolutely blown. It took a while before they got there because they really did the genesis. They had pictures, they had video and film of him. I'm talking 2, 3, 4 years old. Such a huge, his whole family, such a huge Michigan football family, blah blah blah. But the kid was brilliant. Growing up, the kid he played football and basketball. Was brilliant. Always wanted to be part of the coaching staff at Michigan. When his Halloween costume, and I don't want to throw too many spoilers out there. His Halloween costume when he was 6 years old. Guess who he dressed up? Guess who he dressed up as?
And it was
As a Michigan coach. It was Bo Schembechler. He dressed up as just one Michigan. He had the headset on, and Bo Schembechler. He dressed up as a Michigan football coach for Halloween. It's freaking hysterical.
That's good.
So he has been part of that university, and they must have done. Obviously, this is what happened. The cameras followed him around from this past year because they're with him at some of the games after all this stuff happened, and Michigan, the allegations and everything else. He still went to a couple of games, and including the game where the semifinal game against Alabama, and then the championship game later on against Washington. People forget how Alabama they won that game in overtime. Michigan won that game in overtime. That was you go back and I started to go back last night before I went to bed actually and watched it again. At least the last half. What a great game that was. And Nick Saban went out didn't win, but went out with a bang. That's for sure. And then the Washington game, they just completely dominated, mostly Michael Penix Jr. and company in the championship game. But the documentary itself is really, really, it's fantastic. And especially hearing from the attorneys, Brad Beckworth, and there was also another guy. Tim Smith. Yes, I believe. AKA, the Uncle T scenario, because the stuff about him buying up all the tickets was one part of the story that is fascinating. And that's because he's not making that to buy all these tickets for all these people to go to all these games. And his mom came on and said, well, I went to the game a couple of times, different games, and I believe her. But who's paying for all these tickets? See, that's the thing. That's where this Uncle T guy comes in, and this Tim Smith person. But there's also the guy is absolutely, one of his friends called him, he's a savant like Rain Man, meaning Counter Stallions. He at one point, Angel, took something like 2,000 photos of just watching signals, of different types of signals that he has seen, and put them in a Google package for himself. I mean, it's Rain Man-esque how in-depth and incredibly talented that this guy is, putting all these signals together. And I'm not talking about stuff that everybody sees when you go back and look at the sideline and regular television. He did some of that too. Right. But just stuff that he has seen and put 2,000 photos like in this, and offense, defense, they're broken down. He also had a whole map of the United States where he has every single draft pick from 2010 for every state and every region of the country colorized, and will not give out. He wrote a formula for it. You should see it. I mean, he wouldn't give it out. He wouldn't divulge it. But I mean, I'm telling you, off the chart, Rain Man-esque. It's going to really make you think. And of course, in the beginning, Dan Wetzel, who's a great college football guy from Yahoo for many, many years. Surprised he's not over at ESPN, to be honest with you. But he's there. He's in it. David Portnoy, who's a huge Michigan fan. That's right. El Perez from Barstool Sports. He's in it. Does a great job. And as all this stuff is going on, Michigan, all they did was kept winning and winning and winning and winning, handily. But they do a whole thing, comment, a good part in the beginning of the documentary. Something we all know. There is a sign stealer staff member on every single team in Division I football. There just is. I mean, that's not, and when there's like 8 or 9 signals on the field at one time, 8 of them are dummy-esque. You have to, and they rotate those around too. So whether it's this right here, I thought this was funny. He had this. You know what this is?
No.
Pistol formation.
Oh crap.
Yeah, I mean that's the kind of thing. It could be real quick. Like you see one coach do that, another coach do this. There could be this. It could be this. Honestly, I mean, there's all sorts of. It's like 2,000 separate signals that he had. So when you see this sometime on the sideline, yeah, pistol formation. It's very quick. You got to be, but you got to. That's the kind of stuff that he picks up on. All of that stuff, and everything's written down. The formula. And then I was waiting and waiting because they went through his whole history about being, Michigan Wolverine this, Michigan Wolverine that, and then I was waiting for the video stuff. And when the video stuff comes out, it's really interesting. Part of me didn't want to believe there was him standing on the sideline of the Central Michigan Chippewa game, and it was I don't know. He had a hat on and sunglasses, and I don't know. This is what I was questioning. When it came out, is that really him? How did he get a credential to be on the damn sideline? I can understand getting and sitting in the stands, and he also talked about that all these people that are on staff that are sign stealers, and they are, of course, they don't say that they're assistant coaches,
right?
Whatever. They all communicate with each other during the season about different signs. They all share information. He wouldn't divulge who or what, but he says they all do it. There's like a secret society of sign stealers in college football, and they all communicate all the time. Now, I'm not saying Michigan won the national championship because of Connor Stallions or anything like that, but certainly because they just dominated so much, even when Harbaugh was suspended the last few games. But it will, I'm telling you, it will make you think. And then you have the Ohio State conspiracy theorists out there, Angel. Did Ryan Day, who was asked about it in the documentary, he wouldn't talk about it. Did somebody from Ohio State start this whole thing? Even though I'm sure that we know there's sign stealers on Ohio State also.
Huh.
And I found out in the documentary, Ryan Day's brother, Chris Day, happens to be a private eye, private investigator.
So it gets thicker and thicker, the plot there.
Oh, I'm telling you,
Ooh,
there's so many layers to the onion. It goes way past the video stuff. Is like, it's like I don't even care. They showed it a couple of times. You're gonna make up your own mind whether you think it's him or not. I'll be honest with you. If this ever went to a court of law, he would be acquitted. If the case was, is this picture or not a Connor Stallions, there is no way a jury, not even the OJ jury, would say. Well, the OJ jury you'd have to say not guilty. You'd have to say not guilty. And then the embarrassing stuff, not for Connor Stallions, finally, when he agreed to talk to the pathetic NCAA, which again looked like jackasses in all of this. So he's sitting there at a table. I know I'm doing a little spoiler work, but he's sitting there at a table with flanked by his two attorneys. And he finally, they're asking him questions. And I don't think the committee knew what the hell they were talking about. A lot of it, it didn't make a lot of sense, and they were stuttering at times. They were confused. I'm talking about men and women on this committee who I'm not sure exactly who they were, but it was another bad look for the NCAA. Breaking news there.
Now, is it a series, Peter?
Nope. 1 hour and 27 minutes documentary. Yep.
Dang it, I'm gonna have to watch it with Debbie.
Oh, you have to. Yeah,
I missed it yesterday with the stuff that I was trying to fix around here, but I missed it because especially because of, college kickoff is tonight. But holy crap! So all right, in your opinion, and I'm pretty sure we asked Jay as well, but learning what you've learned just from a documentary, and I still can't wait for the one from Aaron Hernandez to come out. But
well, that's a series, so that's going to be
learning what you learned. Do you think that Harbaugh still had maybe a little bit involvement in there, or is it still kind of thrown up?
I think Harbaugh knows about it. I think Ryan Day knows about it. I think every Division I coach knows that they have these type of people. Now, I know that this guy has gone and bought tickets because he's a college football fan for all these different places. But, Jim McElwain, who used to coach, at Miami, and he was the coach of Central Michigan. and he got word of it. He's seen it. He was outraged by it because he thinks it was him. He thinks it was Connor Stalions on the sideline. But I gotta tell you, I don't know. I know that other people were taping, and he admitted this. Other people were taping games for Michigan opponents.
Okay.
Whether it be at Sparty or Michigan State or wherever, they were taping on the phone in the stands, and there's nothing to do about it, and sending him some of the video. Now he says people were sending him signals, and he's like, I already got that. I thanked them for doing it. He's like, but I know that already, which he probably did. I don't think he was being a cocky jerk. I think he was being quite honest, because he says this, the stuff that he had, that stuff that was sent to him via video, via phone, that many of the signals that he already had. But as Jim McElwain pointed out, one of the investigators pointed out, there's one guy that thinks he's absolutely 100% guilty in the documentary. I can't remember his name. He's a reporter, longtime college football reporter. But he thinks that Connor Stalions is absolutely, 100% guilty, because he's like, why, what did I read? What was the quote? The quote was like, who's paying for the tickets, and why are you, he talked about, there was one area where Connor Stalions, and I can't remember it, damn it. He kind of contradicted himself about being at the Central Michigan game, being there, not being on the sideline. I don't know. It was a big contradiction. I apologize for not being remembered. Just check out the documentary. I'm telling you, you'll be blown away. It's not all about the video. I'm telling you, the video stuff, a couple of images that they had him, that's kind of secondary compared to what the other footage and the interviews that were done. His attorneys, Brad Beckworth, as well, and who else did I write down here? Nathan Hall, I believe. Is it Hall or Hay? I can't remember. But he is one of Connor Stalions' lawyers. Two lawyers were there, flanked him during the NCAA interview, which comes at the end of the documentary. But It's really, really fascinating. Really fascinating stuff. All right, we're late. More video to get to. Great show coming up for you today. More college football news to tell you about. Paul Feinbaum firing back at Deion Sanders. I'll just tease that. Some NFL news as well. And MLB rundown, including an unbelievable 8-6-2-3-2-5-4 double play last night between the Yankees and the Washington Nationals. But the Nationals won the game. But the story was that crazy double play that happened. I got the video. We're going to play it for you. All part of the Pete Shepard Show here on a Thursday on the Coastal Sports Network.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Anderson windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Anderson windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly, or in Plastown, New Hampshire, or at MoynihanLumber.com.
What's up, Southwest Florida? Jimmy the Beef Guy here. Fort Myers, we answered your call. We're pumped to announce the opening of our second location. It's on 41 just north of the Edison Mall. And guys, nothing's changed here. The beef, the sausage, the breaded steak, our Maxwell Polish. Now serving you in 2 locations, Fort Myers and Bonita Springs. And don't forget, if you're having a party, check out our catering menu. Hey guys, when you're at the counter, don't call it gardenia. It's pronounced Jardiniere.
Eye on Tampa Bay is the latest news, weather, and traffic for Pinellas, Pasco, Ellsboro, Hernando, and surrounding communities. Stay connected on X, Facebook, and their website, iontp.com. Eye on Tampa Bay keeps you informed on breaking news as it happens. Southwest Florida's newest game in town. Sports Radio 102.9, the game powered by Eye on Tampa Bay. We'll be right back.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dad, your prescription will be ready in just a minute. Hey, Dad, your laundry will be ready in just a minute. Dad, your lunch will be ready in just a minute.
Hey, honey, why don't you take a minute?
When you help care for a loved one, you give them as much time as you can, making sure they're safe and comfortable. But it's just as important that you take some time for yourself. At AARP, we can help with information and useful tips on how you can maintain a healthy life balance, care for your own physical and mental well-being, and manage the challenges of caring for a loved one. Because the better care you take of yourself, the better care you can provide for your loved one.
Thanks, Dad.
Thank you.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides to support you and your loved one at aarp.org/caregiving. That's aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
All right, class, let's hear what everyone did this weekend. Jill?
Well, I raised my older sister to a big oak tree. It was at least 100 years old. My mom said I must have set a record or something. And then we went down by a stream and perched up on this huge rock and saw all of these little minnows swimming around way below us. And then I rescued my little brother from an evil slug king who was guarding him in the bush fortress. And my sister and I brought him back to our super twig fort for safety. And then we all laid out and told stories until it got dark. And the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Wow. Awesome. Where were you, Jill?
Yeah. We went to the forest. It's not that far away. Anyone want to come this weekend?
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week and find the fun, adventurous you. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Don't spaz out because your team lost. Let Pete do it for you. Now, back to the Pete Shepherd Show.
Welcome back, Pete Shepherd Show here on the Coastal Sports Network. Thanks, everybody, for checking us out across the video platform. I see some of the numbers already outstanding. Thanks, everybody. Follow me at PShep326 on X and Twitter. Facebook, SR1029 The Game, and SR1029thegame.com. Ion TV, CSN Florida, Rumble, Spotify, LinkedIn, Twitch, and YouTube. And call or text the show, 727-858-6650. As I said, coming up, in 1 hour from now, Jay Flannelly will join me from BeavsWorld.com. All things Michigan Wolverines. We'll be talking about his connection to that organization, and he is very connected in a lot of ways. We'll talk to him about that. At 9:30, my man Wig is going to be joining us via video, one of the great sports radio callers of all time. And he's awesome. I'm telling you, he's a huge Miami Hurricane fan. He's a huge Miami Dolphin fan. Pains me to say I'm picking the Dolphins to win the division this year over the Bills, but I am doing that. I still, both teams I think will make the playoffs. Obviously, if you win the division, you make it the playoffs. But no disrespect to Buffalo. I think Miami. Then we'll see how far Miami can get after, in the postseason. Let's see. But there's a long way to go. 1 week from tonight, the NFL season kicks off with the Kansas City Chiefs, the two-time defending Super Bowl champion, going up against the Baltimore Ravens, which is my pick, again, to get to the Super Bowl this year against the Detroit Lions. And by the way, we're also going to Jay Flannelly also knows inside out about the Detroit Lions as well. So not only we talk Michigan football, we'll talk about the Lions with him as well. A lot of other stuff, his relationship with Tom Brady, which has been incredible over the years. Some of the pictures, it looks like he's his bodyguard, even though Jay's a little shorter, but you can tell he's got that look about him, like, don't mess around.
Right.
But we're going now. But anyway, I wanted to, Angel, if we could scroll down, let's get some of this other college football stuff on the way. It's the 6th one down. It's right after Luke Campbell, who we played earlier in the show. The first game ever broadcast on ESPN, college football game, happened in 1984. Believe it or not, that was the first ESPN broadcast game. So this is it just happened to be Miami, Florida. Not making this up. This was the first game ESPN ever broadcast. This is the last play. Watch Bernie Kosar.
Over yet. Florida hasn't lost it yet. At the moment, they lead by a point. He's going to go in the end zone. And back to the end zone is Eddie Brown. He's got the touchdown. Over yet. Florida
that was the first game of Bernie Kosar to Eddie Brown. What a game that was. Unbelievable. That first game ever on ESPN. And the Hurricanes were down in this game by double digits, and they came back. They ended up winning by 12. They were down by double digits. But, man, some really, really good stuff there. Now, if we can scroll down, the next one. This is a pretty good feel-good story here, Angel. This is Oklahoma linebacker Danny Stutzman. And I'm going to have you play the video, then I'll tell you what happened. This is some cool stuff right here.
I remember talking to CeeLo saying I wanted to send him the walk-ons. I remember Chris Haming did that, a few months ago, and I was really moved by that. And so, obviously there's days where you feel like your hard work doesn't get seen, doesn't get noticed, but it really does here at Oklahoma. And every single day we appreciate you guys. This team would be nothing without you guys. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I truly do mean that. And I feel like I have a really good connection with all you guys. And I just know how much you guys put into this program, and sometimes you think it's not seen, but it is. And so with that being said, I want to donate some of my NIL earnings to you guys, so you guys can have a little something else after the meetings. This will be in your lockers. So
So what he did, that's Oklahoma linebacker Danny Stutzman. So he's divvying up $50,000 of his own nil money to the 18 walk-ons who you saw him standing next to, giving each athlete a JBL care package. His agent, Brian Bradke, told that to On3 Sports. So that's awesome. And, everybody hears walk-ons. Everybody thinks about, the movie Rudy and everything else and all that stuff. But the walk-ons, they do play a significant role. Now, I don't know how many are actually going to be in the. 18 walk-ons.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. And they usually take the brunt of the scout. They play the scout team every week, and they get the shit beat out of them, just like in the movie Rudy. That's all true. That part of it is very true. That's what these guys do. They're the stunt. They're the opposing team's offense and defense, and they get the crap beat out of them. I thought, back in the day, you're only allowed 4 or 5, but I guess whatever. 18 walk-ons at Oklahoma, and they're all going to get a little piece of the pie from thanks to Danny Stutzman, the linebacker there, giving up $50,000 of his own, and everybody's going to get a little piece. That's pretty cool. If we could scroll down 2 more after that to awful announcing. This is, Deion Sanders called not so many flattering things about Paul Feinbaum, and finally had this reaction yesterday on First Take with Stephen A. Smith and Christopher Mad Dog Russo.
Molly, it didn't mean very much to me because it was a fairly irrelevant reaction. He did say something that I agree with. He called me a dying breed in the profession, which I'm proud of because I really do believe that the media should be treated with respect and not have selective persecution like he is using out there, not only with this reporter from Denver, but other reporters as well. Molly.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. 100%. Accurate. And, I've always been a huge, Paul Feinbaum fan. I think he's a gentleman. I think he watching his show a lot, listening to his show over the years and watching his show, especially over the last 8 years down here. I have a tremendous amount of respect for him, his integrity, how he treats callers and everybody else. He's a great journalist and he's a good talk show host as well. I know people want to think he sucks up to the SEC, and I get it, especially Alabama. I understand that. But I think he's been pretty fair over the years. I know Big Ten people don't like him because they think he's crapped all over Ohio State and Michigan in the past for this, that, and the other thing. And I get all that. There's some of that. The problem is the Big Ten Network doesn't have anybody that comes close to having that type of show. That's the problem. I've always had a problem with the Big Ten Network. They should be bigger than what they are.
I think what's making it worse, though, Pete, is that there's a lot of people. Listen, and who's our former head coach, Florida down here, Steve
Spurrier.
There you go. So I've seen people try to make the comparison between Steve Spurrier and Deion Sanders, and if you're starting to word things by saying it's okay if one person says it, but it's not okay if the other person says it, and then you have people that then want to pile on. This is not, and I caution this carefully with a lot of people. When you guys try to make things black and white, it never bodes out well. You guys got to look at the overall thing, look at the overall pictures, look at whatever happened in past history and what's going on now. But to single out certain reporters because they're either a certain network or because, whatever was said, as media, you're always going to report the truth. At least that's what you hope for a lot of people. And you're going to hear it no matter what it is. Pete said it, you said it yesterday. When it comes up there in New England, Philly, the reporters are going to be so on you, and the coaches expect that. I mean, Nick Sirianni knew that was going on in Philly, so it's just stop people trying to make this about black and white. It's your mannerisms and what you say and how it comes across.
Deion Sanders isn't even close to a coach that Steve Spurrier is. I don't know what this fascination about Deion Sanders from last year. I swear to God. If there's coaches out there that go 1-9 in their final 10 games, I know it's only his first year. I know he had a bunch of transfers because he just basically told everybody, told a lot of those kids who had given their heart and soul to that organization, to that team for a while, and he takes over and says, "Get out, go away. You're not good. You're not good enough for me." Well, Deion, you went 1-9 down the stretch, and no one's really calling him out about that. Where was the coaching and the development then? Where was it? Somebody explain it to me. It's all, sherry and giggles when he started off 3-0, and then it turned to shit after that. He got crushed in a lot of those games. Like I said, I swear to God, the North Dakota State Bison tonight, head coach Tom Palasic, first-year guy at North Dakota State. He comes over from Wyoming, where he was the offensive coordinator and their linebackers coach. He takes over from Matt Entz. Matt, moving up in the college football world, went and took the USC, the Southern Cal linebackers job, which is what you do when you go from, he's making a progression. He wants to be a head coach in D1, and he had an unbelievable record at North Dakota State. So, like I said, Tom Palasic inherits a very good team, and since 2011, the Bison are 149-12, a 925 winning percentage. They won the 22 straight playoff games as well. Last year, that streak got broken. They lost in the semifinals by 2 points to, I think it was Eastern Washington, last year. But they've won 17 national championships, 3 as a member of the college football precursor of Division II, 5 as a member of Division II, 9 as a member of Division I FCS, which is where they are now. They've also been the runner-up 4 times, 67, 81, 84, and 2 years ago in 2022. They have appeared in a total of 20 national championship games. This team, this college, knows how to win. And I think they will compete with the Colorado Buffaloes tonight. I really do. I think Deion Sanders is going to have his hands full tonight with that Bison football team. They're experienced, and they don't get bullied. They don't get bullied at all. So we shall see with that. Meanwhile, Angela, I've continued with some of the great video that I've come up with today. If we could scroll down, let's see, right out to under Paul Feinbaum. Let's go to the ACC network. Just so this is an oldie but a goodie from the Florida-Miami days. Not too long ago. But there's another great play. You remember Devin Hester, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody remembers on the Bears. He was a great Miami Hurricane. Watch this play. This is phenomenal.
Matt Leach to attempt it. He's 12 of 16 this year. Good pass. The ball is blocked.
Oh.
Picked up, and that's Hester. Hester up the sideline. You're not going to catch him. 30, count it off, 20, 15, 10, 5, into the end zone. And the flag has gone down, and that's going to be for the celebration from the 15 on in. Matt Leach to it.
God damn, was he good. Wow. I mean, absolutely phenomenal.
Was it me, or did it seem like, because obviously we had such a close view to the field, that it felt like he just ran like 25 yards? It felt like
because he's so fast. He's like the Flash.
Yeah.
Seriously, like the Flash. Let's see if we could scroll the next one down, because I have so much video. I want to get it all in today. We'll do more NFL at the top of the hour. Right down underneath, one of my favorite people on ESPN, Booger McFarland, who's awesome. Made his bones in Baton Rouge and with the Cowboys. Phenomenal. So he's on with Greg McElroy, and they're talking about the Miami-Florida game coming up on Saturday, and specifically Cam Ward. Some good conversation here.
I can't wait to watch the quarterback play, because I think it came down to, if I'm not mistaken, Florida State and Miami for the quarterback. And so he went to Miami. And so now you got this quarterback who we saw him play out west last year. Now he brings his talents to the ACC. So what is he going to look like with this talent, with this coach? How much success can he have? Because I honestly think he could be a Heisman Trophy, not just a Heisman Trophy candidate. He could be invited to New York, Greg. That's how much I think when you look at Cam and you look at this offense and you look at the numbers he could put up in the ACC and the spotlight that's going to be on him, we could be looking at one of the 3 or 4 finalists for the Heisman Trophy, especially if he gets off to a good start in this 3:30 window on ABC on Saturday.
Yeah, big opportunity for him. And I mean, I think he's the real deal. I think he's awesome. I'd be shocked if he played poorly on Saturday. And if he does, that's a testament to what Florida's done on defense to grow on that side of the ball.
Yeah, agreed. I said it before, even Booger did. I expect him to be in New York at the end of the season as one of the finalists. I think his name will be up there all year long. That's kind of numbers I believe that he is capable of putting up. Let's see, what else do we have here? There's a couple other things. This you're going to find interesting. And I know I'm focusing a lot on this game coming up on Saturday, but it's my show. And this is, there used to be like a rule, like you never want to play your own CD collection. But look, when you're tuning into the show, you're going to get a lot of Hurricane stuff. You're going to get a lot of entertaining video. You're going to get a lot of reaction about what's going on in New England, which I'll get, all New England sports, which I'll get to after 8 o'clock. But I am going to play some of my CD collection, because a lot of the stuff you guys don't get to see during the day that I do regarding, college football. And if I see something that comes up in the Big 10 or the Big 12 or SEC, I'm going to play it. It doesn't really matter who it is. This has just been, you're going to hear a lot about the Canes this week, because it's and Florida, because it's such a gigantic game. It's one of the biggest games of the year. Wait, just text me. What time do you start? Watch this. I'm on now. You sent them the link, right?
I sure did.
Talk at 9:30. Been plugging you all morning. Hang on, because I'm sorry for doing this, but hey, it's my show. When should I be gearing up? He says when I should be gearing up. I'm going to say I'm sorry for doing it. Wig, send me a picture of some of your garb that you're going to be wearing for the Hurricanes game. Anyway, so I'll finish that with him in a second. So he's all excited about coming on. And Wig is just he's a character, but he's a smart guy. He's really tied in to high school football, college football as well. So we go up to the ACC network, and this is a conversation that they had in the ACC network with Cam Ward about the offensive line and the defensive line. Cam Ward giving praises to his teammates. But some good questions asked here as well.
Give me 1 second as I'm trying to put something in here from Gas Pump Guy before we go over to the video. As he says, good morning, fellas. Have a great day. I'm so hyped for Saturday. Let's go Canes. And Cam Ward, you're talking about from the ACC network?
Yes, right there. Yep.
All right. Bring this over like a so.
Mm-hmm.
And a quick over presto, and off we go to the races.
Cam, I know you're new to Miami, but I'm sure you have heard the talk about years before where everybody thought Miami was going to be great and it didn't materialize. Why should fans be invested and believe in this Miami team based on what you've seen throughout the last 9 months since you've been there?
This Miami team really doesn't care about all that, outside the building. We come in, we put our hard hat on, we work every day. We push each other every day, and it starts with the trenches. The O-line, D-line is going to be a reason why, we're going to be able to win a lot of football games this year. So, they might not get the, credit that they deserve on paper, but, everybody in the building knows this O-line, D-line is going to carry us. So continue to lean on those guys, continue to lean on the skill group, the DBs. At the end of the day, it's all about getting a win, no matter how you get it done. Whether, you throw for a lot of yards, rush for a lot of yards, you get a couple picks or you get some sacks, it's a team game. At the end of the day, all we got to do is win.
Cam, you've talked a lot about playing with a chip on your shoulder, but also knowing that at some point you would make it to Miami after not really being recruited a lot out of high school. So headed into this season, what do you feel like you and your teammates have to prove?
We got to prove it to ourselves. I think over anything, no one's opinion matters inside, this building, not even to ourselves in our personal life, because at the end of the day, no one's not going to really know who we truly are. So, just playing within the system, keeping, the camaraderie, the chemistry within the team tight. And, throughout the season, that's going to be, the reason that a lot of guys are continue to, not only stay healthy, but continue to play for each other every day.
Cam, Andrea alluded to it way back at Incarnate Word. You had a belief that you would be here on these biggest stages playing in games this big. I'm just curious, where does that belief come from? How have you managed to maintain that throughout your career?
Really just, how I was raised. My parents, they always, told me to treat myself as the best. And as I got, throughout high school and throughout my first couple years of college, I always knew that I could be one of the best quarterbacks in the country. But, that's something I have to go prove each and every Saturday. I can't take days off on Saturday because the day I take a day off is, give somebody else the right to take a day off. So, we hold each other accountable in this building. And, we're going to be the first to call each other out on, the unnecessary stuff. And we're also going to be the first to uplift each other when things are going good.
Yep.
All right. There you have it. All right. I just posted a picture of Wig. Wig sent me a picture. I took one of the other ones down, but you'll see Wig in his swag. He's in the car. So, Angel, if you could send him a link, because he's in the car and he's used to listening on terrestrial radio. So if you could send him a link, that would be great because he wants to listen. Oh, he sent me another picture. I have to put it up there. He's crazy. Can't wait to talk to him at 9:30. Angel, all right, let's take a quick break here so we can reset. Lots of NFL stuff coming up next hour, I promise, and then we will get to the Red Sox report at 8:15, an MLB rundown, some kooky videos that happened last night in Major League Baseball, and a whole lot more. 8:30, we will speak with Jay Flannelly from BeavsWorld.com, all things Michigan Wolverines, and we'll be talking about, and then Wig at 9:30, one of the great sports radio listeners in Southwest Florida and around the country for that matter, and he's always fun. All right, all part of the Pete Shepard Show here today on a Thursday on the Coastal Sports Network.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Anderson windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Anderson windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly, or in Plastown, New Hampshire, or at MoynihanLumber.com.
What's up, Southwest Florida? Jimmy the Beef Guy here. Fort Myers, we answered your call. We're pumped to announce the opening of our second location. It's on 41 just north of the Edison Mall. And guys, nothing's changed here. The beef, the sausage, the breaded steak, our Maxwell Polish. Now serving you in 2 locations, Fort Myers and Bonita Springs. And don't forget, if you're having a party, check out our catering menu.
Hey guys, when you're at the counter, don't call it gardenia. It's pronounced Chardonnay.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
The following is made possible by Dad.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling all over it.
The dad joke. Corny, groan-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
Why do you have to be careful when it's raining cats and dogs? Because you might step in a poodle.
And kids that spend more time with their dads grow up to be smarter, more successful.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
And with any luck, funnier adults.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? Because he didn't have anybody to go with.
Dad jokes rule. So take a moment to make a moment and give your kid a laugh. It's as easy as going to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That's really funny.
Okay, men, this is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're gonna go out there and be an all-star caregiver. It's up to you. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna go grocery shopping, cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You gotta dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments. Don't you forget about the pharmacy. I know you won't, because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. This is your time to show the world, your family, and yourself that you're tougher than tough. Now go out there and be the best caregiver this world has ever seen. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick and proud aunt. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing. But not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. 1 in 6. That little girl sitting alone at the playground, she can't play like the other kids. She doesn't have the energy because she's hungry. School lunch will be her only meal today. It breaks my heart that this is the reality in our country, but it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. This food is then provided to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about using your imagination, learning, and having fun. These children shouldn't have to miss out on simply being a kid because they're hungry. To find out how you can help end childhood hunger in your community, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
You want the best in sports and entertainment? You got it. Now, back to the Pete Shepard Show.
Hey everybody, welcome back. It's hour number 2 of the Pete Shepard Show right here on the Coastal Sports Networks. Paul, to get your foot off the boat. Happy Thursday. College football is back. Yes, sir, Bob. And two big games that I'll be watching tonight. The Minnesota hosting North Carolina. Good ACC Big Ten matchup right out of the gate. That's at 7 o'clock, and at 8 o'clock, switching over and going back and forth. Or with YouTube TV, I'll be watching both games at once, which is very easily at North Dakota State, a powerhouse. Powerful Jedis they are in the FCS. They will be in Boulder to take on Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes. And I was talking to some people yesterday. I would just love for Deion to show up at the end of the game at the press conference to speak to nobody. Nobody would be there. But that won't happen. Good morning, you guys. Going to cover Mayo at 9 today, telling the world who's starting. Oh yeah, it'll be. We'll have it. We can't carry it live. Maybe we can. I don't know. I might be able to. We'll see. But I told him he's going to flip a coin in front of everybody. Heads, Jacoby Brissett. Tails, Drake May, and Joe Milton will be, the $2 bill.
Yeah.
The old $2 bill. Actually, Peanut Gallery has a $2 bill. She does. Yeah, it's like a good luck charm. Anyway, thanks everybody for checking us out on the video platform as well here at the Coastal Sports Network. Let's get to some. Let's see. We'll do the MLB rundown and the Red Sox report coming up in just a little bit here at 8:15. Some good video as well. Let's start. Actually, let's go back. Let's scroll down. This is another interesting thing, football wise. It is from Carlos Talks Pats podcast, and interesting stuff. Defensive lineman Devon Godshaw and Keon White talking about financial stuff while playing for the Patriots. Jay says, "Hi, my dudes." Yes, Jay, we'll be talking to you in about 20 minutes or so, 24 minutes. So if we can play this, this is what Bill Belichick was talking about yesterday on Pat McAfee show as far as Massachusetts goes. But here you go. Listen to these guys.
Now, you know what pissed me off, too?
It's a $2 million.
When I got here, they got that extra 4% millionaires tax out here, too.
Absolutely.
That'll get you, too.
Massachusetts is bad with state taxes, too.
What?
It's terrible.
What?
It's right up there with New York and L.A. It's terrible. Massachusetts is bad when it comes to state tax. I just heard Bill Belichick spoke about it. He was talking about, on the Pat McAfee show, he was talking about how it was tough to sign free agents in Massachusetts because of the state tax.
Yeah.
Like guys was like, nah, I won't come here because of tax. And guys these days, if you can sign with a team with no state tax, then go ahead and sign with them because that's more money you keep in your pocket.
I wasn't ready for when that first check hit. How much they took?
Balling. You thought you was balling.
I thought I put in an account. I took a screenshot and I sent it to my dad. I was like, I'm up. I said, don't call me for nothing. I sent that right to my dad.
Yeah.
But so I wasn't prepared that they was really taking half. You always hear they taking half your check, but no, that's for real.
But what in the Bible say we got to pay taxes? That's what kills me though. Because they say the tax money goes to the roads and all that.
Yeah.
The roads still messed up.
Well, roads are partly, schools, whatever. But But that's the thing. And Massachusetts not alone. And California is worse, and New York is bad too, and a couple of other states. But when you, and Angel, I can't see you again. But when you hit that $1 million mark for a salary, no matter what you are in Massachusetts, there comes the 4%. Boom, extra 4% that you have to pay. And I think California is even worse, and New York is no better. I'm not sure what the tax situation is in Philadelphia, Angel, but it's probably not great there either. It is, but Florida and Texas, no income tax. But just because you don't pay any income tax doesn't mean they don't grab you in some other ways as well. I mean, we don't pay income tax down here, Angel, you and I, but they get you in some other way. There's other ways where the state can get you if you're not careful. Texas too, same thing. Field Yates saying the Browns have restructured the contract of Deshaun Watson, converting $44.79 million of his base salary this year into a signing bonus, and he created $35.8 million in cap space. How about that? Cleveland now has over $62 million in cap space, the most in the entire NFL. Holy Toledo. That's crazy. That's unbelievable. So watch for them to make some moves here. We'll see what they pick up on the waiver wire when all this is said and done. That's some interesting stuff. All right, continuing. Let's go. Let's continue with the NFL, and let's start with at the very top of the cuts. They look a little funky today, Angel, but let's start with Josh Allen for the Buffalo Bills. Says the Super Bowl is the number one goal.
They do look funky. All right.
I'm very excited with the group that we got. We got a lot of guys that can do different things, and I think most of all, these guys are working hard and they really care for each other.
Well, what's the mentality? Here you guys have been knocking on the door. You've won 6 out of the last 7, seasons, 4 division titles in a row. And as you know, you guys have been in this grind late in the season to make this push to a Super Bowl. Has anything changed from either your head coach, Coach McDermott, or from your standpoint of guys pushing through to break that barrier?
I think we're at a point right now where, again, the Super Bowl is the number one thing that we want to accomplish. And first, it starts off by getting into the playoffs, and the quickest way to get in the playoffs is win your division. So that's never going to change for us. All we're trying to do, we're trying to focus more on the process than the result. And I think the last couple of years, maybe we've been focused too much on the result instead of the process. So, again, just working hard, caring for each other, playing the game the right way, understanding the situations of each and every game that we play in. And, again, just trying to go 1-0 each week, and that's all it is.
Yeah, and interesting. We showed you the graphic yesterday. 103, a survey by ESPN to anonymous players in the NFL. 103 players took the survey of who they thought the most overrated quarterback in the league was. Josh Allen was number 1. Tua and Jalen Hurts were tied for second. But that's subjective. I hope there's nobody on his team. We'll continue with the NFL stuff. Let's scroll down a little bit to Dallas there, Angel. And CeeDee Lamb, after he inked his deal and how his agent tried to punk him on it. It's funny stuff.
Welcome back. After 3 months away, CeeDee, how good does it feel to be back out here at practice and amongst the fans?
It's amazing. A great home welcoming, I guess. It was worth the wait. I'm happy to be back out here with my guys, get this timing down, ready to hit Cleveland.
Where were you? What were you doing when you got the call from your agent?
I was actually in Florida, just chopping it up with my guys. I just ended up getting a random phone call from my agent, and I was expecting it. But at that moment, he kind of was, he cracked a little joke. You know what I'm saying? He took it the opposite direction, and I was a bit upset. But
what was the opposite direction?
Like, everything went south. I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, yeah, they're only trying to give you $34 a year. I'm like, oh, okay, appreciate it. But, it was a very fulfilling moment. Blessed is an understatement. I'm ready to go ball now.
Take me through the process. You've got what they call the bird in the hand, the $18 million guaranteed to come back this year, and it was getting close to the start of the season. Or if you just could stomach it out, listen to the talking heads, continue to do work down in South Florida, you could get a guarantee of 5 times that. Were there moments where you had a gut check?
Absolutely. But then that's when my agent came in, and that's why he's the best at what he does. Shout out Tori for doing that and keeping me mentally locked in. He would check on me maybe 3 times a week, just seeing how I'm doing mentally, physically, how I'm holding up, workouts, and all those other things. So just staying on top of my game as far as preparation, mentally, just staying locked in, and let the rest take care of itself.
Let's talk about those workouts. I caught up with Sharif Tabah, who you worked
All
with.
right, that's good, Angel, for that right
and
there.
He said
I want to
every
get
single day.
You can stop that. That's thanks to NFL Network for that. And if we could scroll down to Gerard Mayo, short and sweet here yesterday on who's going to be QB1 for the Patriots. Announcement coming up in about 47 minutes.
I don't think I have to explain it to anyone else. It's my decision. And look, if it doesn't work, blame me. Blame me.
All right.
All right. There you go. We'll have more on that at 9 o'clock. If we continue to scroll down, let's go to Mike Tomlin from Pittsburgh announcing another one. Russell Wilson, talk about flipping a coin. This is not a surprise. We all thought Russell Wilson was going to be the guy anyway, no matter what, even though he hasn't played particularly well in the preseason over Justin Fields. But Mike Tomlin finally made it official yesterday, right after the show, there, Angel. We can play Mr. Tomlin.
I met with both quarterbacks here just a few minutes ago after practice, and I informed them that Russ is QB1 going into week 1. It was a difficult decision, but not difficult in a negative way, to be quite honest with you. It was difficult in a positive way. The decision was difficult because of what they're capable of doing. Decision was difficult because of how they have conducted themselves, as opposed to the things that they fall short in terms of capabilities or negative conduct. Both guys have been really professional. I've been really excited about getting to know them and their games and having the ability to analyze what both are capable of bringing.
All right, and the next cut down is indeed Russell Wilson on being named QB1 for now, anyway.
Are you surprised at all, or do you ever feel it was a competition?
I'm super excited to be, obviously, here. Obviously, I came here to help us win. That's the focus, and I think, just the best part is how hard we've all worked every day, from all the way from OTAs to Latrobe, and obviously we got a great season ahead of us, and we're excited about it.
Russ, what did you do to win or to earn the opportunity in your mind?
I think we all just try to be our best every day. I think every day I step in the building and just try to, bring my energy, bring the focus, the detail, the experience of it all too. And then when you step in between the white lines, do everything you can to be your best version of you.
All right, we'll see how that all works out. Before we go to the Red Sox report coming over at 8:15, it's going to be a little after that. But really interesting stuff going on in San Francisco. John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan. This Brandon Ayuk thing is kind of crazy. I'll just let you hear the audio. Here's John Lynch on Brandon Ayuk's situation. Thanks to NBC Sports Bay Area for this.
Was it communicated to Brandon's camp at any point, say in the last few weeks, that he would be expected to practice starting?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into our communication again, but there's at some point you got to play.
And the next cut after that, Angel talks about his team preparing for week 1 against the Jets without Brandon Ayuk and Trent Williams.
Hopefully. You sounded fairly optimistic about Trent maybe a week ago. Do you still have the same level of optimism that he will?
Yeah, I'm optimistic that things will work out with Trent. I'm not sitting here knowing what day it'll be. I mean, we're getting close to playing a game, so my mind is completely on preparing for a game without those guys. But yeah, I feel when two sides want to get a deal done, and usually it happens.
Now, Brandon Ayuk was supposed to be out there yesterday. If you don't know, he got a clean bill of health from the 49ers doctors, nowhere to be found. During the 30-minute window in which the media is allowed to watch practice, he was nowhere to be seen. So Ayuk and the Niners to the latest and perhaps most volatile point in the drawn-out contract dispute. No Trent Williams as well. And last one before we go to baseball stuff, Angel. Here's from the NFL Network, the NFL insiders on the situation with Brandon Ayuk.
Let's prepare to get weird, because there are some weird things that have been happening throughout the offseason with a couple of these guys, namely that one, Brandon Ayuk. Today, we had the latest development in which the 49ers brass, Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, both said, hey, Ayuk's been cleared to practice. Medically, the neck, the back, whatever I'm not going to say fake injury, but whatever the complaint was that allegedly had been the reason that he was off the field for the past month here, Mike, that's now cleared up, and they said they expect him to practice. Practice begins, and according to some of our buddies, Cam Inman and company out there in San Francisco, no sign of Brandon Ayuk on the field. Mike, this was always a point where if they didn't work something out and if there couldn't be a trade, we would get here because loyal viewers of the show, both of them, know that I've repeatedly said there's no such thing as a hold-in. This isn't a thing. At any point, the team can go, you need to practice if you are not injured. We appear to have reached that point today.
Really, really interesting stuff. And Adam Schefter via Jeremy Fowler, the breaking news for the Patriots. Can't believe it, how shocking it is, but head coach Gerard Mayo just informed the team that Jacoby Brissett will indeed be the Patriots' Week 1 starting quarterback when they lose to Cincinnati. on the road to the Bengals. The favorite to start in the battle with rookie quarterback Drake May now gets the Week 1 nod, but we all know that Drake May's time is coming. So there you have it. It has happened. It's Adam Schefter and Jeremy Fowler found out before. I guess he's holding a press conference very shortly sometime next hour. It doesn't really matter. There's no breaking news there. Tim says overrated quarterback Burrow, Tua, Herbert, and Dak. And for those of you, Wig and others who are listening, and Tim is AKA Dopey, but Dopey's a name for another network. We just call him Tim. We're all friends here. Overrated quarterback Burrow, Tua. How is Joey Burrow overrated? Tua's going to win a playoff game. Herbert. Oh, and Dak Prescott. Yeah, I mean, but Tim, they all have a common theme, right? Kind of get past the first round. Well, the Bengals got to the Super Bowl, so you can't, but Tua's got to show up now. Highest paid player in Miami Dolphin history. All right, Angel, if I may impose upon you, let me see. We can go to the MLB cuts and scroll down to the Red Sox yesterday. There's only two. They played well yesterday. The Red Sox report right now, as always. Screen just went dark. But the Red Sox report is brought to you by Moynihan Lumber. Check out their complete line of Anderson windows and doors at any of their 3 locations in Beverly and North Reading, Massachusetts, and in Plastown, New Hampshire. Oh, now it's back. All right, Iprike. Red Sox got back on, actually won their second in a row yesterday. Back-to-back games. They beat the Blue Jays 3-0. Cut number 2, Abreu got it going in the bottom of the first for the Red Sox.
Toward the hole, through for a base hit. Here comes Duran. Profito firing home, but not going to get it. And a run scores. Abreu, RBI number 52.
That would be all thanks to Dave O'Brien on this, and that would be all the Red Sox would need. But nevertheless, in the bottom of the 8th inning, Tyler O'Neill added to it.
Swinging a shot by O'Neill. This one high and deep. Back it goes. Kiss it goodbye. T.O. with a shot to the monster seats.
Dave O'Brien again with the call on Nesson. But the big story last night, too, Brian Bayo continues to do very well. He improved to 12-6, pitched 8 strong innings, allowed just 2 hits, no earned runs, obviously, struck out 9, walked only 1. He was absolutely fantastic. Up next, Toronto in the series. Carter Crawford, 8-11, goes for the Red Sox in the series finale today against Bowden Francis, who is a 7-3. So there it is. But meanwhile, Angel, I have to show you this. We're doing the rundown. We're going to get to what else happened. A couple of interesting videos last night in Major League Baseball. I told you earlier today. Whoops, hang on a second. I told you earlier today about the unbelievable 8-6-2-3-2-5-4 double play that happened in the Yankees National game last night after the ball got by or went over the judge's head. So if we scroll down, Angel, it's under MLB. You'll see it. It says, have you seen the 8-6-2-3-5-4 double play? We can play that. Oh, it is. Okay, sorry. There we go. Yes, here we go. Thank you, sir.
The 0-2. Lined in the air to center. Judge racing back. It's over his head. One off the wall. Gallo is going to be held up, but there's 2 runners there. Now Gallo's caught. They have a runner caught between second and third. Gallo is watching it. Now he's headed home. The throw home. And now the runner goes back to second. Gallo's going to be tagged out. They have the other runner in a rundown. Nobody covering second, though. 2 runners in rundowns, and it ends up an inexplicable double play. The 0-2. Line.
Wow.
8-6-2-3-2-5-4 if you're scoring at home. That should be a lot. I don't know if you can play a lottery of those numbers. 8-6-2-3-2-5-4. Double play. And the Yankees lost, which made it even better. But they did that double play anyway, and the Nationals are the Nationals. Meanwhile, if we could, Angel, the next cut up. Last night in L.A., Chavez Ravine was Shohei Ohtani bobblehead night. Check this out. Look at the line of people.
Yeah, this was freaking nuts.
For a bobblehead.
Yep. He also mentioned there's already been some gold on what he made.
That's unbelievable. Also around Major League Baseball yesterday, and there's a cut I want to play. It's on the video feed on the comeback. We'll get to that. Texas beat the White Sox 4-3, but wait to see what happened there. The Cubs rallied. They were down in this game. They won 14-10. They rallied with 11 unanswered runs in that game. Cubs over Pittsburgh, 14-10. We'll get to what happened in the White Sox the White Sox Texas game in a second. Texas ended up winning 4-3. Cleveland over the Kansas City Royals by a score of 7-5. Houston blanked Philadelphia yesterday 10-0. Washington beat the Yankees, as I said, 5-2. Atlanta over Minnesota 5-1. St. Louis beat San Diego 4-3. Colorado over Miami 8-2. Seattle over Tampa Bay 6-2. Detroit got by LA 3-2. Oakland over Cincinnati 9-6. Milwaukee 5. San Francisco 3. Arizona over the Mets 8-5, and the Dodgers over Baltimore by a score of 6-4. Ohtani, by the way, had a home run last night too. All right, Angel, if we could, in the White Sox game last night with the Texas Rangers, you got to be paying attention. You got to be paying attention. It's under the. Did you see it, Angel? It's on the comeback on the site on my Twitter page called The Comeback.
Hold on, because I'm seeing the.
It's underneath the kid from Oklahoma's line. Underneath the kid from Oklahoma.
I see it.
That's it. So then we'll go to break.
Oh boy.
So you got to pay attention, son, and everybody in Little League, Babe Ruth, whatever. T-ball, pay attention.
Boy, not the best sequence for Lenyn Sosa. Between innings, on the throw down to second, was not paying attention, and
I can't see it yet.
Hits him right in the nose.
Hang on. Let me put it back because you should have been able to see it.
That's all right.
And it's going to be black because I'm not playing it. I rewound it back. So do you see a black screen?
Yeah, I see a black screen. Yep.
Boy, not the best sequence for Lenyn Sosa. Between innings, on the throw down to second, was not paying attention, and
ball hits him right in the nose.
Oh, shit.
I hope the brim of the cap, because you can tell it's bent. I hope that ate most of it.
I don't think so.
I don't either.
Let's hope that the teeth are okay and that everything is all right. This has been a very tough game for Lenyn Sosa. He's got the tying RBI. But other than that, it's been very difficult.
Difficult for the White Sox, period.
All right, that's enough. We've seen enough because we're going to get to break. Because coming up, Jay Flannelly is going to join us from Ann Arbor. So quick break here, Angel. Awesome job as usual. Quick break, and then Jay Flannelly. We're going to talk some Michigan Wolverine football and a whole maybe even some Detroit Lions football as well. Some good stuff coming up. In fact, you know what? We're going to skip the break. We're going to skip the break, Angel.
All right.
The hell with it. We'll make up for it in a little bit. So joining me right now, Jay Flannelly from Ann Arbor, from BeebsWorld.com. Jay, good morning. Thanks for checking out the show. Thanks for joining the show. How you doing?
Good, Pete. How you doing? Good. Honored to be on with you. You're one of my heroes, buddy.
Oh, man. Well, you're becoming one of my heroes because of the information. In all conversations I had with Tom over the years back in Boston, and maybe he mentioned you, maybe he didn't. I don't know. Your name might have come up. Only Alex Guerrero's name used to come up all the time. First, before we get into Wolverine football, I guess we are sort of in a way. I've seen the article on ESPN, Sports Illustrated, written about you. What is your relationship with Tom Brady? How far back does it go?
basically August of '95 when he came here to Michigan. Remember, he was the 7th-string quarterback.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And one of my early roommates and dear friends here is Jason Carr, Lloyd Carr's son. He was the senior quarterback. He was like the 2nd, 3rd quarterback on that team. And we kind of adopted Tom because remember, if you know his story, he's more of a baseball guy.
Absolutely. Montreal Expos, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Left-handed hitting catcher.
Yep.
His sister, Maureen, was a great softball player at Fresno State.
Yep.
And his Julie and Nancy are also really good athletes. He was like the 4th wheel.
Yeah.
So he and I just started hanging out. I used to work at Mr. Spots, and I was working for the team, and we just became friends. And, we stuck together. The Media Day story in 1998 is fairly famous, where I sat with him for like an hour, and he signed 3 autographs. One of them was my niece. Another kid was like a Special Olympics kid. Another kid thought he was Scott Dreisbach. So, as I said to him when we came to the Colorado game in 2016, when we walked out when he was the honorary captain during the Deflategate nonsense, I said to him, "You'll sign more autographs today than you did in '98," and he got a nice laugh out of that.
That's great. Now,
to go along with what you're saying, so he came to the Patriots in 2000, got drafted, and I was working as an intern at the draft in New York City. And I called him like an hour after he got drafted. And the famous Bledsoe, what he said to me, he knows I love Bledsoe. Because on Sundays, we used to all go out and watch games. I wear my Bledsoe jersey. He had his 49er stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know Tom, and you've obviously dealt with him for many years with the media on EI, Tommy says at the end, "Beef, I'm going there to take Bledsoe's job." And the way Tom does stuff, you don't know if he's serious or he's joking.
Yeah.
And clearly, and I love Drew Bledsoe, which is the other thing. It's hilarious. I felt you do too. Everybody who told him he's awesome.
Yeah.
I felt bad when this was all going on, when obviously Drew almost died, but just from the football player aspect of it, the Wally Pipp, Lou Gehrig thing.
Yeah, but the thing is, Beav, is that I know this to be most inside sources have told me in the past, look, if the Mo Lewis hit never happened, and it was horrible that it did. The Mo Lewis thing didn't happen. Basically, Bledsoe had one more game to prove himself. He was coming out. He was coming out. It would have happened eventually. It's just this process was sped up by the unfortunate industry. Nothing was more awkward though. I don't know if we were at the first Super Bowl down in 2001 in New Orleans, technically 2001 season, but to have that dual press conference, Bill came out with his thing, and to have Drew and then Tom come out. That was as awkward a moment as I can remember in my life. Maybe the only one that's more awkward, and I wasn't at that one, was when Belichick resigned on national TV for the Jets, which is still one of my favorite things of all time. Yeah, that was the best. But that press conference with Bledsoe coming out and Brady, that whole thing, and it was never a controversy for me because myself and Freddie Smirla saw it in camp. That way before he even got the backup job, I was like, I was like, this is it. And Drew did not start off well that year. They were 0-2. That game, the opening game against Cincinnati that they had was terrible. But anyway,
broke his neck.
Yeah. But the rest is history. But you still remain close with Tom after all these years.
And I scout for Tom. I mean, you mentioned I scout. I'm a football guy. One of the things that's cool about me and you. We're New England guys, but we're football guys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We were football guys before the Patriots had their run, when the Cross bought the team and Parcells and Carroll and all that. But I go back to Ron Earhart and Chuck Fairbanks and Ron Meyer. And I love.
But people, you know what, Beeb, the Chuck Fairbanks thing is so hysterical. It's fucking unbelievable when you think about it. I was 11 years old.
Imagine that today with Twitter and everything.
Can you imagine a coach leaving to go coach? Speaking of Colorado and douchebag Deion Sanders out there, your coach quits 2 weeks before the playoffs are going to begin, which was going to be against Earl Campbell, Dan Pastorini, the great Houston Oilers team. And that was the last time they had a home playoff, and they got smoked. And
isn't that crazy? That was their first home playoff game, 78.
Yeah, and they didn't get one later on until much later, 85.
96, the Pittsburgh game.
The
Terry Glenn, Curtis Martin.
The Terry Glenn, Curtis Martin, the bomb in the fog. I was
Imagine that they went after Rod Woodson on the first play of the game.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Remember how foggy it was that day in Foxborough?
Well, they couldn't see Curtis Martin.
Couldn't see anybody.
Were you at that game?
I was at that game. Freddie and I were sitting next to each other in the media section. And
okay, here's a trivia question.
We were in the end zone. We couldn't barely. All we saw was Terry come out of the fog with the ball.
Pete, here's a trivia question. Tell me who started the game at quarterback for the Steelers. I think I know who it is. Ohio State guy.
Yeah, no, Randall.
I think it was Tom Zach.
Mike Tomczak. Yeah, that's right. Mike Tomczak. I remember Slash was on that team and all that stuff, and that never really worked out against the Patriots. But yeah, that was something. That day in the fog. Everybody remembers the Fog Bowl between the Eagles and the Bears back in the day. This wasn't quite that bad, but initially it was bad. And the fireworks that went off
in the old stadium.
Yeah,
in the old stadium. Oh my God.
Yeah. But let me go. Let's get back. I want to go back to the genesis of your Andover, Mass. Origin.
On the hat, baby.
How'd you end up in Michigan?
So I was on a really good team in high school, but I was like the worst player on the team. So I met with all the coaches that came to recruit our players.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Marinaro is one of my best friends. He, by the way, helped keep Tom Brady here when he was the captain here in *95. But Johnny Thompson, Brian Donnell, and Dave Tucker. We had a great team in '89. And I was a junior on that team. So I dealt with a lot of the recruiters, Joe Paterno, Bobby Bowden, in Michigan. And I was a huge Michigan fan. And my high school coach, Hall of Famer, one of the most important people in my life, Dick Collins, a Rhode Island guy.
Yep, there you go. Legendary.
Yep. So the Michigan coach, Cam Cameron, who famously used to be the Miami Dolphins coach all over the place, LSU with Les Miles, he said to him, Cam, you got to meet Flannelly. He's the biggest Michigan fan. And he listened to the coach, and Cam and I became buddies. And Cam ultimately helped me get into school here. I moved out here in '93, and when I graduated, I left in '99, went to New York City, came back in '02, and I've been back here ever since.
And you don't live at the big house, but you live kind of close to the big house. Like,
2 blocks. 2 blocks, baby.
So you can.
So the funny thing is, Pete, I got moved here by my landlord.
Well, wait a second. Do you rent out your people for parking? Do you charge $50 to park in your place if you wanted to? I mean,
so this is funny. Pete, you'll love this. The New England ingenuity in me. I had one update. I rent my parking spot to a college kid for the whole semester. He pays me $250.
Oh shit, man, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Now mute this part. Tax free, Pete.
Yeah, tax free. That's it.
And I've been doing that for like 6 years. But no, you're right. The parking, but my building, I'm in an apartment building, has 8 spots and they're always filled. But the racket here, Pete, is the ticket meter guys. Oh my God, it's unbelievable. And parking out here is free on Sunday, but the rest of the week, tickets everywhere. It's crazy.
Wow,
when I was with the football team, we had like somebody who had to check on, make sure all the guys were paying their parking tickets and everything. It was crazy.
The big house is another place on my bucket list. I'm going to one of my bucket list places.
You've never been here for a game?
I've never been there. I've never been to the swamp, and I'm going to watch my Hurricanes. Hopefully, beat up on Florida.
Okay,
but I
you're a Rhode Island guy. Who's your favorite college team?
Oh, because my parents vacationed on the East Coast of Florida since the mid '70s. So when nobody gave a shit about Miami, I just adopted them. They were one of the first teams I watched on college football when I was 8 or 9 years old. They almost took the program
Jim Kelly, Bernie Kosar, Vinny.
Yeah, but even before that, though,
Lou Saban.
Before Schellenberger got there, they're ready to take the program away. Yeah, they were ready to take the program away. So they've always been my boys, thick and thin. I still root for Boston College, but I'm a college football fan at heart.
I know.
But the Hurricanes are my team, so I've never been to the swamp. I'm looking forward to that.
They got a big game this weekend, buddy.
Yeah, 12 rows in back of the Miami bench. So we're looking on the 50-yard line. So I'm looking forward to it. But what is describe to me what it's like? 107,000 plus on game day. What's it like trying to get out of your house? I mean, you can walk to the stadium, obviously, but what is that atmosphere like?
It's very unusual because obviously for years I worked for the team, so I was on the field or sitting with the players' families and stuff. But it's different in that everybody we have like the largest alumni base in the country, so there's tremendous demand for tickets. With the recent run of success after a real down period after Coach Carr retired, just huge momentum with our program. And we had a lot of guys that were part of the 3-year run. You know, J.J. McCarthy platooned in 21 with Caden McNamara. But it was Blake Corum played a lot. Donovan Edwards is still here. Zach Zinter, North Andover kid. Trevor Keegan. A lot of these guys played. Mike Sandistro, Mikey Barrett, Cornelius Johnson, and Roman Wilson played. So we became identified with their players. Like what Ohio State did this year, bringing a lot of their guys back with the NIL. So people get caught up in the team, but the atmosphere, the band, the music, the traditions, all this stuff. You know, the Mr. Brightside thing to start the fourth quarter is another one that just is a recent thing, but it's a great thing. But then sometimes I think it kind of works against you. You know, you mentioned Cordell Stewart. I was here for the 94 Colorado Hail Mary.
Oh, that was something.
Place got real quiet. And when you're not winning, the fans turn on you. I mean, Tommy got booed here. Caden McNamara got booed here. Devin Gardner. Chad Henne. All these guys.
Drew, yeah.
Harbaugh got booed.
Yeah.
So, no, it's interesting, but it's an unusual event. You'll get a good idea going to the Swamp because that's a similar type of environment. And obviously, that's a huge game you're going to. So,
no, absolutely. It's huge. It's huge in so many ways. I think Cam Ward.
Nothing like BCP, though. Oh my God! And I love Bill O'Brien, and I think they're going to have a great year.
I covered a handful of games in the press box, but I think the last.
Your buddies with Mita Perel.
Yeah, he comes on the show every week, so he's fantastic. Yep. He does a great job, and he'll be in Tallahassee on Monday for calling the game on the radio for BC, Florida State.
With Pete Cronin?
It should be, Pete Cronin, yep.
I listen.
And Matt Merton on the sideline, I think, too. So
Is Mute still there?
Yeah, he does the sideline stuff. Yep, he does the sideline stuff.
So his best, this is funny, he was the quarterback in high school for Tommy's roommate in college, Pat Kratos.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yes, at Stadium Nations, yes.
Oh, that's unbelievable. Well,
they called him. He's called the governor. If you didn't know that, but Mutron is like he's Mr. Personality.
Right.
You obviously know.
That's right. I've been fortunate enough in my career, covered a lot of championship events in all 4 major sports. I've been to a lot of arenas, been to a lot of baseball, but college football, big time. Is I just haven't been. It's on my bucket list. So this was one of them. Obviously, going to the Big House is one of them. The Horseshoe is another one. So tell me what's the difference between the Big House and the Horseshoe? The biggest difference, besides I know Ohio State fans and the rivalry and all that stuff, and I get that. But I'm sure you've been to the Horseshoe before too, right?
There you go, buddy. That was good. So I know you brought me in with the big breaking news about Jacoby Brissett.
Oh yeah, well that was big deal. I don't like it, but I want to tell you. Well, let me ask you. I know.
Would you like to see Drake May doing a commercial for 1-800-ambulance?
Yeah, but I've heard that. Remember when Drew Bledsoe started?
But they had fixed a lot of. If you remember that team, Pete, Pat Harlow, Bruce Armstrong.
Yeah, they had some.
They brought in Blake Arthur to be the center. Yeah. I think Todd Rucci was one of the guards. Doug Skeen, I think, was.
But here's the thing: it's only going to be 3 or 4 weeks. And I don't know if Jacoby Brissett's going to make it through week 1. We'll see.
No.
I really don't.
He almost died the other night, Pete.
I know. He was dinged up the other night. All right. Let me ask you, getting back into Michigan football here. And first of all, a brief synopsis. What was it like for you being out there last year when the Connor Stalions stuff happened and some other stuff? What was it like for you? Then I want to ask you a few other questions from the documentary. Even if you hadn't seen the whole thing yet, I wanted to ask you because I was blown away. I watched it yesterday after the show, complete fan. But what were you going through last year? Your emotions of emotion when the Connor Stalions stuff broke.
Okay, so obviously for what I do, scouting and watching a lot of tape, I have a lot of friends in the industry, and you're hearing stories and noise about things, and obviously I know a lot of the players, but I didn't know who Connor Stalions was. Once I knew who he was, I see him on the sideline and so forth. So, and then the story broke and everything, and I had been tipped off this was coming. But I heard it was more of like video hacking, which like the story that broke with Colorado and Oregon in the last 24 hours.
Yes.
But we all know these teams all have spying, but the sideline buying tickets and going to the other team's game version, which is being alleged with Connor and his guys, is different. You know, you watch a game, NFL particularly, Sean McVay, when he's calling a play, doing this. Andy Reid. So, you know, that was the thing. Now, Belichick wasn't really a play caller, but so I when it was all happening, I thought it was really weird because we have a pretty basic team. You know, Sharon ran the ball like 32 times in a row against Penn State. Offensive line, running game. We've been good for 3 years. We had like 15 kids get drafted. It's not like we're the TCU team from 2 years ago.
Absolutely.
But no, it was, and I thought our players and Sharon, who was put in a bad situation by his former boss, did a really good job. And I love Coach Moore. I think he's awesome. And I like the foundation of toughness coming from tight end. He was a tight end coach originally, and then he became an O-line coach. And the other thing about him is he was our trick play caller. And one of the funnier things, you watched the Rose Bowl, everybody saw the double pass where JJ almost got killed.
Yeah.
The guy who hit him was Dallas Turner. They were the first 2 picks of the Vikings in the draft.
Yep. Unbelievable.
So, it's amazing. Like Pete, we talk about this all the time, how sports and things interject, and it just, you never know who you're going to be teammates with and things like that. It's just nuts.
Well, I thought it was really interesting, and I don't think you said you still haven't seen the whole documentary yet, right? When you do, you're gonna.
I think I might see it, Pete.
You got to see it. You got to see it. But this Connor Stalions guy, I mean, he's brilliant. I mean, he served our country.
He's a highly trained intelligence, code breaker guy.
Yeah, but this guy, wait till you see the flow chart of signals that he had. He took pictures, like 2,000 pictures, and put them all in some sort of Google app or something. So only he can see it.
Memory.
He's like Rain Man. He's got he's got a whole map of every single kid drafted around the country, exactly what region they came from. He won't give out. He wrote the formula for it. Got all colored black and yellow, red dots all over the country from Maine to Alaska of everybody who's been drafted in the NFL the last 13 years. The guy is absolutely brilliant. They didn't get to the video part of it. Initially, they said exactly what we're talking about. Dan Wetzel is very respected from Yahoo and a couple other reporters. But the player, everybody knows, they were staff members. Everybody knows that every single team has a sign stealer coach. Every single one in Division I. We all know that.
To give you an example, Pete, our 97 national championship team, this is in the Mountaintop book that was just out. Northwestern stole our signs in our game in 97.
I believe it.
Literally, in the middle of the game, one of our student managers figured it out, sideline guys, and told Coach Carr, and we fixed it.
Well, because
97.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure it's been going on since the 60s. I mean, sign stealing is something that's always been that way. That's why you have most of them are dummy signs. You have to. I love this one. This is pistol. You see that? That's pistol.
So Pete, another one. I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
When Tommy was on the Patriots, they had a game in the division in the early 2000s where the other team had all their signals and calls, and they lost the game like 35-0.
Wow. 35-0.
You can figure out what game this was. And they had all of our signals and calls. One of Tommy's worst games. He threw for about 140 yards.
It wasn't a Jet game.
No.
It was no.
You got two teams left. Very warm play.
Miami.
Yeah, the Joey Harrington game. Yes.
Yeah. But he got
somehow the Dolphins knew our signals. And go watch the game.
Oh no, absolutely.
They pulled Tom from the game.
Yeah,
they pulled Tom from the game, the start of the fourth quarter, because they knew what was going on.
Yeah, and that's when everybody started to get.
You didn't hear what I just said, by the way. I'm not supposed to. That was classified stuff.
No, of course not. No, I remember that was at the old stadium in Miami on the dirt where the baseball field was.
Which, by the way, that place is the house of horrors for the Patriots, going back to when you and I were kids. The Squish the Fish Raymond Berry team.
No, absolutely. I mean, they had lost 17 straight games before the '85 championship game, and then they caused 7 turnovers. And then
you used to work with like Pete Brock. I mean, they used to call that the Miami diet. They go down to lose 30 pounds because the weather.
Yeah, what's funny though, after they won that one game though in '85, they started to win in Miami fairly consistently, and then now it's back to it's kind of been crazy for them.
So Pete, one of the funny things about that is you talk about there's always a guy that owns the other team's quarterback, whether it's a star guy.
Yeah.
Fred Marion used to own Dan Marino.
Yeah.
And you're a Miami guy.
He did.
Go look. I think Fred Marion has the most Gil Byrd was the guy who owned John Elway.
Yes.
And
Ty Law with Peyton Manning.
Yes. I mean, and by the way, I love that you said that because I used to love that Ty killed him.
Oh, it was great. It was fantastic. And I don't count the Super Bowls he won in Denver. I don't count them. That's just me. Let me see what else. So I also thought was interesting when you see the documentary when he's in front of the committee, Connor Stalions at the end of the documentary, and he's flanked
his lawyer.
by Brad,
you know who that is, right?
Brad Beckworth, and the other lawyer was
Johnny Manziel's lawyer, among others.
The other one's Nathan Hall. Yeah. So Brad was very, very interesting. But the committee, when you see it, as usual, from the NCAA, made
I saw this part. I saw the committee part. Yeah.
There's a lot of stuttering, and not by.
They're not used to being called to the carpet, Pete.
No, and it was.
That's why they didn't like Harbaugh. Same reason.
Exactly. The other thing that's in the documentary that I found out, Ryan Day, and of course the conspiracy theorists, somebody from Ohio State is somebody that started this whole thing, which it's definitely a believable conspiracy theory. I've heard a lot worse. But I did not know that Ryan Day's brother Chris is a private investigator. Did you know that?
No, Pete, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. I'm a bad liar, Pete. I'm a bad liar, Pete.
But
so just so you just kind of said it, but going back to when I was here in the early 90s, the spying and stealing signs, it was more like baseball stuff. Hey, look in the dugout. They got like you just did the pistol thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it got to a level, and then whatever the Connor with the sideline guys bringing up to other games, the CMU thing with him, that type of stuff's different.
Yeah.
And instead of looking at their sideline, oh wow, 2 fingers is up. They're snapping the ball in 2, or the stuff they used to do. And by the way, okay, let's do this, Pete. I know we stole the play. Connor Stallion stole the play. I'm telling you, the defense coordinator, what the play is. You've got to get the play in like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
It's very hard to do. Like, great example in our game, our Rose Bowl game against Alabama. The big Blake Corum 4th down play where he caught the pass.
Yep.
We set them up. Alabama's a matchup zone team. So they match up man and zone. So when they shift and move, they got to realign. We snapped the ball with no time left, so Blake was able to leak out and get out in the flat. And then earlier in the game, Roman Wilson had a touchdown, same type play, and Blake's first touchdown, same thing. When you motion and move guys at the end of the play clock, they can't realign. So when they're moving, you snap the ball. And that's
absolutely.
That's
No
and by
question.
the way, you know this because you paid attention to the draft, how smart JJ is. So JJ in the Ohio State game, the Roman Wilson touchdown that he scored, which was a laser throw.
It was.
JJ knew by pre-snap where the guy was 100% of the time. They played this coverage.
Mm-hmm. And that's just film study. I know a lot of it's just film study. And I'm not implying, or I don't think most people are not implying that Michigan won the title last year because of Connor Stallions or because more.
You're not talking Michigan State or Buckeye people, Pete.
Well, I know. Well, that's a whole different story. The other part of the video.
Michigan State people need to worry about phone sex.
Yeah. The video, the quote unquote video evidence of Connor Stallions on the sideline, I know McElwain was talking about. Well, when they showed the picture, first of all, he would have been acquitted in any court of law. Maybe it sort of looks like him, but I don't know. The nose is a lot pudgy. He's got a hat down to here. He's wearing sunglasses. I don't know. It's very difficult. Now, there's no question that the ticket buying. What do you know about Uncle T? There's no question that Connor Stalions bought up a whole bunch of tickets all over the place. There's no doubt about that. Some he gave to his mom or her family. I get all that. But there is no – who paid for those tickets? I think that's one of the biggest questions. Who paid for the tickets? Do you know Uncle T?
I'm pleading the fifth.
Tim Smith, right, is his name? Is that his name, Tim Smith? I'm
pleading the fifth, Pete.
Well, you don't have to reveal any secrets. I just want to, I'm sure that
I'm pleading the fifth. By the way, my agent / lawyer is Brad Blank. So.
Oh, I love Brad. Yeah. He did not ever have the pleasure of representing me, but I mean, he's awesome.
Downgraded. He represents me. So, no, but
every program has an Uncle T type. I mean, let's get serious here.
Okay, so I'm going to try to explain this.
Okay.
The best way I can without getting myself killed and you killed. Whenever you have something going on and something behind covert ops stuff, somebody's being paid, people involved might not know they're involved.
Gotcha. Yeah, gotcha. They don't ask. They don't ask.
If you are running a pizza, I'll use this as an example. You're running a seafood restaurant, and your bartender is running an illegal gambling ring and taking money from the register. Is that your fault? And you might not know about it. And they might be using your name. You've seen this vacuum cleaner business that Connor.
But as an owner,
don't know anything about.
But as an owner, I'm responsible for all my employees.
But again,
I may not know about it, but
is not to go overly religious on it. My business partner Kathy is going to love this, but God and Jesus aren't responsible for me. When you look at this thing and what was going on and what was being done, there's so many unanswered questions.
Yep.
I've been told this. When I heard this first started, I thought this was video hacking stuff. What happened with Oregon and Colorado that's now coming from last season. I had no idea about the spying.
And Utah also. Utah as well.
Okay. Now that surprises me because Coach Willingham is old school and he's been there a long time. And one of the things that people need to understand, just because there's an alleged spying ring here at Michigan, not all these coaches were on board. And some left over this and some didn't. It's like stealing signs in baseball. If you've seen, Tony Gwynn didn't want to know what the pitch was. Guy standing at second base and said the signals to the batter, hey, pitch is coming in, or another signal like that. And, the famous Cal Ripken, a guy was spitting on the ball, and Cal made an error, and then he went over to the pitcher and said, don't do that again. We can't play defense.
Yeah. No, I got you.
Everybody's different. I'm old school. But I'm not anti-analytics. I'm in, as Bill Parcells once said, Pete, I'm in the information collection business, not information providing business.
That's it.
And I just think getting information and you can never have enough. Like, great example, Malcolm Butler. He was like the last guy on the roster. He made probably the biggest play in the history of the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, from Western
Alabama.
Because
he prepared and practiced for that play.
Yeah, we saw that highlight in practice. We saw the video of that play in practice. The exact same thing. Yeah. It had nothing to do with sign stealing or anything like that. It's called watching. They put up how Seattle played that play during the regular season. And the stuff about, first of all, at the end of the Super Bowl, they should have never been down there to begin with. That was the miracle of all miracle catches. And number two, the stuff that Marshawn Lynch should have got the ball.
And by the way, Pete, the best part on that miracle catch, that was on Malcolm.
I know.
And he had to recover. They took him out and put the goal line in, and then Flo put him back in. Malcolm Go, the famous video.
But he had enough sense also to touch him and knock him out of. I mean, to stop the clock. But the other thing too, the Marshawn Lynch play that never happened. Dante Hightower, first off, but they were something like, I forget the stat, and the reason why Pete Carroll didn't go to him again. Okay,
the numbers were bad on it.
The numbers were horrible. I think they were 0 for 6 or 0 for 7. Him running the ball during the season on that play. Now, Pete Carroll's probably damned it, because if they stuff him at the line there, then Pete Carroll's an asshole. If Malcolm Butler makes the interception, then Pete Carroll's an asshole. So damned if you do, damned if you don't. All I know is they were lucky. Seattle was lucky to even be down there to begin with. So,
but
anyway.
Pete, you remember when the other Pete, PD Pete, came to New England in January of '97? He promised he'd bring a championship to New England. We didn't know how long it would take, but it did.
Yeah. So, well, the other thing too, I use the butterfly effect, and then I just want to, in the last few minutes here, I want to ask you about the current Michigan football team and your thoughts. But I want to go back. Being in covering the playoff game in Pittsburgh, the 7-6 loss after they made the goal. After the Patriots made the
Mike Vrabel with the strip sack at the end.
Mike Vrabel on Bledsoe, the strip sack at the end. They're warming up. They're going to win that game. But people forget, and I always say this, Derek Cullors had to start that game, third-string running back, because Chris Martin and whoever the backup wasn't. Derek Cullors started. They held their own. I always say, had they won that game, they would. I believe they would have hosted.
They would have faced Denver, right?
They would have faced Denver in Foxborough. And if they ever won that, I don't know if Bill Belichick ever would have been coming to the Patriots. That's how crazy things can be.
Good point.
I always think about that. They would have had the home game against Denver. I know they always struggle with them.
But they would have got their asses kicked by Denver. They did not match up well with Denver.
Yeah, but, Denver didn't match up well with Jacksonville either, not too long. I mean, things can happen. I hear you. More than likely, they probably
right. It's a matchup game.
But the fact that they got to the AFC Championship game, because remember, they beat Miami. They played them back-to-back weeks. I had to beat them at the end on Monday Night Football, 14-12.
Collins interception game.
Yes, and then they whipped Miami in Foxborough. Marino had no idea what was going on. It was 20-7, I think, was the final. It was freezing cold, and they wanted no part of the Patriots.
Derek Cullors.
Yeah, Derek Cullors, and then because Curtis Martin was hurt, then they go to Pittsburgh. Bledsoe fumbles on the 50. They lose 7-6, and then if they won that game, they played Denver in Foxborough for the AFC Championship. And I'm telling you, I always thought that if they ever won that game, I'm not sure if Bill Belichick ever ends up being coach of the Patriots. But anyway,
really great point, Pete.
Thank you. All right, speaking of great points, now have we decided on a quarterback in Michigan yet? Is it Alex Orji? Is he going to get the nod for the Wolverines this year? I know they were still talking about it. That's yesterday.
Orji thing. I mean,
well, of course.
No, I think it's going to be Alex. I think Davis Warren is going to get some work just to get him in. But look out for Jaden Davis, the freshman, big recruit coming in. I'm hearing really good things out of camp. And Jack Tuttle's been dealing with some injuries, coming off surgery. Yeah. I think Orji's going to play. He's a big, Cam Newton-sized kid. If you haven't seen him, he played
from Texas. Yep.
Yeah, and he's going to play, but they have to have another guy. You always need two quarterbacks. That's Florida State.
Yep.
And so I think you'll see Davis Warren get in a little. And Jaden Davis is kind of a dark horse out of the blue type of guy. But our team's going to be really good. Offensive line, got a good culture of success. Defense, with the guy bringing in Martindale, who invented this scheme. And Patriots fans know Martindale because he's with the Ravens for
Yep.
And the skill group, listen, Donovan Edwards,
Colson running back. They have a lot of shoes.
Lodge Morgan, Khalil Mullins from the Boston area.
Yep.
I said Samaj Morgan, Tyler Morris, J.J. McCarthy's receiver in high school. And they got some more guys coming in. And we got 3 guys that are going to be top 10 picks. And
Mullins from West Roxbury.
Yep. Will Johnson, Mason Graham, and Grant. And Loveland's a top tight end in the country. He's Travis Kelce Jr. without the stupidity.
and I saw your picture with Sharon Moore. You're very high on him.
I love him.
Huge shoes to fill. I mean, it's so.
I like Pete. I'm old. Everything's because I'm Tom's buddy. I'm an offensive guy. I loved the Chuck Fairbanks Patriots, Ron Power, the New York Giants, Bill Parcells, Belichick teams.
Yep.
I always want to run the ball and play defense. But the game has evolved. This is why Belichick had to go, because he didn't evolve. He evolved to a level, but once Tom was gone, he was trying to be Eric Zaire and back what he was with Cleveland again.
Yeah.
With Pilcox and all that. We're trying to win 7-6. But I love coaches that are about physical power. It always wins in football. You know, the Packers, the Steelers, the Washington Redskins, Joe Gibbs, the most underrated great coach in the history of the NFL. Won the Super Bowl with 3 different quarterbacks.
3 quarterbacks, exactly, yeah.
And none of them are Joe Montana.
No.
Or Steve Young.
Yeah, or Brady or anybody. Or Peyton Manning or any of those guys, yeah.
So Pete, I saw earlier you brought up the Cleveland thing. And I mentioned Kathy, my business partner. She's a huge 49ers fan.
Okay.
And I keep telling her they need to get rid of Ayuk. He's a pain in the ass, and he's not really that good. He's like their 7th best player. Pete, do their players. What number of players Ayuk?
I understand it. Well,
they're going to pay Trent Williams.
They're going to trade.
That's the one they're going to worry about.
Both of those guys, and I played the press conferences or bits. We just played earlier before you came on with Lynch. Shanahan.
Yeah, John. Yeah, I heard
Lynch is pissed. I mean, Lynch is clearly upset.
Sometimes you have to practice. I heard him. Yes,
you get a clean bill of health from the doctors. You're not out there. I mean,
it's like the Manny Ramirez thing with the Red Sox, the MRIs on both his knees.
That was unbelievable.
You had the heyday of the Red Sox at EI. That was you and Big O and the boys. That was good.
Oh yeah, it was fantastic. Well, this has just been awesome. I'm looking forward to the game on Saturday night. In fact, I'm going to have Catherine Tappan on.
Catherine's coming out to do the game. Catherine Tappan.
Yep, she's coming out to do the game.
That's right, because it's on NBC.
Yep.
NBC
So she's coming on my show tomorrow. She's in Ann Arbor right now, or she's going to be tomorrow. She's going to come on the show tomorrow from her hotel room, and we're going to talk about the game and her thoughts on a lot of things in college football and the Big Ten. She does a great job with.
She's great.
With Ian Eagle.
We're going back to the Bruins.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. She was fantastic. She's a great hockey gal as well. Just an awesome person. Hey, all right. So what else can we plug for you? This is great. We got to do this on a regular basis. I don't care. I love a Big Ten report, the Michigan, whatever it is. You're a great, fascinating guy to talk to. I love it. So what else can I plug? What else can you plug for yourself?
Brad liked it. You said that. He's going ka-ching ching. No, that's Beavs World is my business, my website with my business partner and best buddy, Kathy Hoekstra. It's all football pretty much this time of year. I'm going to do, 3 NFL previews. I do podcasts, and that's the best way to get a hold of me. My Facebook, my LinkedIn, Twitter. I got my own, and then I got my Beavs World. But we're excited for the football season. One of the things that's cool, Pete, with the formats and everything, and obviously your story with your comments about WEI falling apart, but there's streams and opportunities for people like me and you where we don't have to be held back by dumb management.
That's it.
And no, Angel could be dumb management, but he's our dumb management. That's my guy.
Angel is far from dumb management.
Angel.
He's talking about Rain Man. He's the Rain Man.
This is funny. I could do a show with Angel. He could be Angel. I could be Sin. So it's I just think there's a lot of opportunities. And one of the cool things, Pete, because you moved down to Florida, and I saw you talking about MLB. You can get on ESPN Plus. You can watch the Red Sox. You don't have to get nested.
Yeah, I get the package.
I get MLB. I'm a Mets fan. Don't ask.
Yeah.
After last night, I wanted to jump out a window. If you didn't know, they were down 4-0.
Yeah, I saw it.
5-4, and then Edwin Diaz came in to get 4-out save, walked the 8th and 9 hitter, and then gave up a grand slam.
Yep.
Throwing his 3rd best pitch.
Very Red Sox-esque lately in the bullpen. Not the last couple of games, but yes.
So no, I think there's opportunities for people like me and you. Mm-hmm. And obviously we can make on Twitter. That's how we found each other. And I saw your pods. And I like to talk to Pete. And Angel's a hockey guy. Broad Street. I love Bobby Clark. And I just think there's great opportunities for people like me and you. You can watch everything now. I mean, you can watch Brazilian highlight on ESPN Plus and all this. I'm a huge college baseball guy. I can watch all of Clemson's games and Michigan's games.
Yeah, that's right. And I love college baseball down here.
Well, you're a baseball. If you're a New England guy, and you're a Rhode Island, New England guy. So, and I'm an Andover, Mass. So, but I just think it's great.
And I've been lucky enough, my high school, Bishop Hendricken in Warwick, Rhode Island. I mean,
sure.
All four majors have, Rocco's managing the Twins. King is out there.
I remember when you used to talk about Buddy Cianci. That was funny.
Well, that was, yeah. Well, hey, I mean, if it was, he built up, probably did a couple things a little shady, but he built up the city pretty good. Better than any other.
He's like he's the equivalent of Kwame Kilpatrick out here in Detroit.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, one last thing. Your thoughts before we even had a conversation or anything else. So my Super Bowl pick has been, I'm picking Baltimore and Detroit. I'm very high on the Lions this year.
Okay.
How are you feeling about the Lions before we let you go?
I love the Lions, but disclaimer here.
Okay.
I don't love Jared Goff. I think he's too robotic. And I think today in the NFL, broken plays and off platform is how you win. You whether you have Pat Mahomes, even Brock Purdy is better on that stuff than people think. So I think athletically, if things break down, it's not a good fit with Goff. Now, their offensive line is great, and they got skill guys, and they've signed some guys to replace Josh Reynolds, the third receiver. I don't like Baltimore, and let me explain. The thing with their O-line coach dying is a big deal.
Yeah.
And I know the Patriots had the Dick Rabine thing.
Yeah, that was
I'm friends. By the way, I'm lifelong friends with Betsy, his daughter.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I picked back in like the beginning of July. My barber asked me just out of the blue. I said the Packers and the Bills. But I'll tell this, Pete. You're not going to like this. I watch all preseason and then follow everybody and watch.
Yeah.
Whose roster and team is really good? The Jets. They have good players.
They do. Obviously, they still have to prove it to me.
I know. And again, I want the 49ers to win. I want the 49ers to win because of Kathy, my business partner. But there's too much noise. And I hate Kyle Shanahan at a big game for obvious reasons. I mean, he's a car accident. I mean, he's not even – I know his record against McVay. McVay is such a better coach than him. It's not even close.
Look, on paper, the Jets may have the best talent top to bottom than anybody.
Look at their roster.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll give you two dark horse teams. I love the Jaguars. Shout out to E.J. Perry from Brown. Just made the practice squad for the Jaguars. I
was talking about him the other day with our reporter, me over.
Greatest quarterback in Massachusetts.
Yep.
State history. His dad's our head coach, and his other uncle is the Brown head coach, and Johnny, his other uncle, is the Rutgers wide receiver coach. And Tim, the Harvard quarterback, is a big lawyer in Boston. But I like the Jaguars on the NFC. I think they're going to be better than people think because I love this coach, Dave Canales in Carolina. I know you mentioned this earlier.
Yeah,
I know you because Canales is really good. Look what he did with Baker Mayfield.
I love Baker's attitude with Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is going to win that division.
Kathy, my business partner, loves Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, I think I didn't love him in college.
Her son does too, Zach.
I'm a big fan of his now, and I think that Buccaneers.
Oh, he handled everything, Pete.
I think he's been terrific. I mean, he really has.
Yes.
He's grown up and matured a lot. I think the Falcons are still over. I think the Falcons are still way overrated. I do not care. Kirk Cousins, I still don't know. I still don't understand how Michael Penix Jr. Gets drafted in that spot. And I love Michael Penix Jr. My belief is he's going to be the best out of all the rookie quarterbacks when it's all said and done. Maybe. But they still did not improve a lot on defense. I know they've just picked up a couple of guys.
Judon and Justin.
I love Judon. But Kirk Cousins is going to have to put up 40 points a game, I still believe, for that team to win. But we'll see. We'll see.
No, I like what you said. Here's the thing about the Baker Mayfield thing, and you brought this up. The new offense coordinator replaced Canales is Liam Cohen, who's a Massachusetts guy, and he was with the Rams when Mayfield went there and kind of saved his career. Remember, he started that Thursday night game. He'd been there 5 minutes.
Absolutely,
and literally, that's when I kind of became a Baker fan because I don't like loud quarterbacks. Hey, look at me, guys.
Yeah.
I wonder why. Is there somebody famous I know that isn't like that? But no, I don't like the celebrity. Too much noise in the media. That's one of the things I don't like about Aaron Rodgers.
Well, he's always the story. I mean, he talks about outside noise, and he is the outside noise.
Always a distraction. And by the way, you said the best quarterback in this draft. I love Drake May.
Oh, I love Drake May too. I'm just going by.
And obviously, J.J. McCarthy. Hello, man crush.
Yep.
But I think this is a really good group. I even think Bo Nix, for his environment and situation, being JV Drew Brees. Worst case scenario, Bo Nix is like Colt McCoy, a good career backup. But I think every one of these guys, except for Drake May, went to a good situation for them. I think Jaden Daniels is a freak. I think Caleb is a freak.
Yep.
Drake May, the Patriots just need to draft because they have so many bad drafts from Belichick. It's funny. When you watch a Patriots game, I call it the N'Keal Harry reminders every time you watch a game.
He just got released yesterday too by the Vikings.
There's a wide receiver on the other team. The Patriots could, like last week was McLaurin.
I know. And N'Keal Harry just got released by the Vikings.
He's on the Colts practice squad.
Tried to convert him to a tight end. That didn't work out.
No, I'm sorry, the Vikings practice squad.
Yeah, got released. They tried to.
So it's funny as hell, Pete. I was watching the preseason game when JJ played, and he dropped the ball. JJ threw to him, and I'm like.
Well, real quick, another one I know because I got another guest coming up at 9:30. We got to take a break. But one more thing I really want your honest opinion about J.J. McCarthy because obviously in high school, phenomenal.
I'm going to give you a good answer on J.J. by the way.
I know, and the what people are saying about him, don't watch a lot of college football and just look at numbers. Well, is he capable? Do you think, in the pros, and obviously it's not going to be this year, terrible what happened, obviously, is capable of putting a team and carrying a team on his arm, which he didn't have to do a lot the last couple. The throws that he did make when he had to were always seemed dead on balls accurate, to quote Mona Lisa Vito. But, in your honest opinion, does he have he's got the arm. I know he's got the talent, but the experience, can he carry it on his back if things aren't going well otherwise?
So let me first of all, let me give you a little background on this. Cade McNamara is my favorite player at Michigan since Tom Brady. Cade McNamara was like my son. I loved him. So when JJ comes here, obviously I went through the Drew Henson, Tom Brady thing.
Yeah.
Which made me nuts. And Drew and I are great friends now, but when that was going on, that was not fun.
No.
So when JJ came here, I would go and see the players after the game, visit with their families, and I'd go over to talk to JJ. And I would say to him, the first thing I'd say to him was, I'm a Cade guy. Because I want him to know I want Cade to play. I'm not going to BS you. These kids have nothing but liars around them and handers on. And that's one of the things I do. So I would go and talk to JJ. And he was always nice. He was always from day one. His parents, too. Great family, Chicago people. And things happened, momentum happened, and then both of them got hurt going into the 22 season. Cade was much more serious than people realized. He got hurt in the Michigan State game in 21, his knee, tried to get through the season. Then JJ basically went through a dead arm period, and then JJ won the job, and Cade tore his ACL. But I'll never forget, I'm going to the stadium after the game, and with Kathy, my business partner, her son, and Kathy says to me, Beef, Cade's on the cart. And I went over to see him. Over to see him. I was probably crying. And I said, I love you. It's going to be okay. And they took him away, and his dad mouthed to me, ACL. And so I'm upset. I go over to see the players after the game. And you know who picked me up? J.J. McCarthy.
Really?
Unbelievable. And I've dealt with depression and mental health issues. And JJ, and this started with the Aiden Hutchinson team in 21. And JJ's Sack the Sigma shirts, you'll see them everywhere.
Yeah.
That mental health awareness, depression. But JJ helped me there. And obviously he had the great year. And you asked about coming back when you need to. The TCU game. He had the bad first half, and then he led us back. Unbelievable. He's a winning player. Another thing, I always look for hidden parts with QBs. Everybody saw the Ohio State game when Zach Zinter, North Andover's on, broke his leg. Awful injury. Our whole team's upset. Now, remember, Coach Moore was the O-line coach, so this is one of his boys.
Yep.
Team's upset. Go watch the video. Who is rallying the team? JJ. JJ's going hugs his parents. Gets with Corum, says, we got to win this game. First play, touchdown, Blake Corum, running through 14 dudes. And then the Rose Bowl, the big drive at the end of the game. Every other Michigan team loses that game.
I know. Nick Saban, Alabama, unbelievable.
Roman Wilson blocking the back play. Roman redeems himself. Corum's runs. than Roman's play. But he's an unbelievable kid. And if you watch, we've seen the Hard Knocks with the Giants, with Drake May, and they like JJ. So the thing, and remember something very important. Kevin O'Connell used to work with, he was a Patriots guy. He's Tommy's guy.
Yep.
He's picking Tommy's brain on JJ. So, and I can't say enough about him. Love him like a son. Great family, great kid. But I just think there's, this is going to be the 83 draft where there's so many good quarterbacks. Because people forget this. Both Ken O'Brien and Tony East are both very good at one time.
Well, they were.
Something happened. They just got hit too much. Now, Todd Blackledge, he's become a great broadcaster, but he didn't work out. I think he was the second quarterback drafted.
Yeah.
So, obviously, the Elway, Marino, and Kelly guys turned out okay.
Not bad.
But, yeah, and it's funny. I was talking to somebody about this yesterday. They asked me who's more important, Amar St. Brown or he's a keeper league, Amar St. Brown and another quarterback, and I said always take the quarterback because you're always going to be trying to replace the quarterback when you don't have him. Look at the Jets with Namath and Marino with the Dolphins, and please don't insult my intelligence with Tua. Josh Allen, I love. He's on John Kelly's.
What are you talking about, Tua? He's the highest paid player in Miami Dolphin history. Come on, show some respect.
You mentioned him. He and Michael Penix are the same guy, by the way, because the next hit they take, they're not getting up.
Well, that's always been there with Michael, but
it's.
Well, Tua learned how to fall. Don't you remember jiu-jitsu? Now he knows how to fall.
No, by the way, I love Michael Penix, but if you watch when we hit him in the national championship game, he did not handle it well.
No question.
Now Tommy, by the way, doesn't like pressure either, but he'll get up and go on to the next play.
Well, my favorite
he got
stuff.
A concussion in one of these Super Bowls. You know which one this is. I'm not going to tell you, but Tommy got a concussion in one of these Super Bowls and played through it. It was one of the ones we won. There's 7 of them. Look it up. But no, it's it was good. It was good. Pete, what else you got before you go?
That's it, Jay. Thanks so much again, Jay Flannery of BeavsWorld.com. Let's do something again next week if you like. I'd love to do.
Pete,
I love this.
I'm always here, brother.
Awesome.
I'm always here. You can negotiate my fee with Brad.
No, we can negotiate my fee, and if you have anybody out there that wants to, sponsor the show, sponsor the segment,
yes,
let us know.
Yes, that's important. That's important. Yes. Support people like Pete. It's expensive for us to look this good, people. Okay, so
it's not expensive to sponsor the show. Jay, I got to run. You're awesome. Let's talk again next week. I'm sure you're going to be at the game Saturday night.
No. Pete, I like to stay home. I don't go to the game.
Okay,
that's a whole other story.
Okay,
we'll
talk about that.
Next time. You and Angel have a good rest of the week and enjoy the week 1 here. Okay.
Love it, Jay. Thanks so much. All the best.
Okay, guys. LFG. Thank you, guys.
Yes, you got it. Jay Flannery from BeavsWorld.com. Awesome. That was great. Could have had a 4-hour show with him. We got to take a quick break. I got to go pee. I got to refill my water bottle. And Wig is coming up at the bottom of the hour. One of the best sports talk radio callers of all time, in my opinion. He's going to join the broadcast coming up at the bottom of the hour. Quick break, and then it's more of the Pete Shepard Show right here on the Coastal Sports Network.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Andersen windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Andersen windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly, or in Plastown, New Hampshire, or at MoynihanLumber.com.
What's up, Southwest Florida? Jim and the Beef Guy here. Fort Myers, we answered your call. We're pumped to announce the opening of our 2nd location. It's on 41 just north of the Edison Mall. And guys, nothing's changed here. The beef, the sausage, the breaded steak, our Maxwell Polish. Now serving you in 2 locations, Fort Myers and Bonita Springs. And don't forget, if you're having a party, check out our catering menu. Hey guys, when you're at the counter, don't call it Gardenia. It's pronounced Jardiniere.
Eye on Tampa Bay is the latest news, weather, and traffic for Pinellas, Pasco, Ellsboro, Hernando, and surrounding communities. Stay connected on X, Facebook, and their website, iontp.com. Eye on Tampa Bay keeps you informed on breaking news as it happens. Southwest Florida's newest game in town. Sports Radio 102.9, the game powered by Eye on Tampa Bay. We'll be right back.
Okay, men, this is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're gonna go out there and be an all-star caregiver. It's up to you. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna go grocery shopping, cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You gotta dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments. Don't you forget about the pharmacy. I know you won't, because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. This is your time to show the world, your family, and yourself that you're tougher than tough. Now go out there and be the best caregiver this world has ever seen. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick and proud aunt. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing. But not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. 1 in 6. That little girl sitting alone at the playground, she can't play like the other kids. She doesn't have the energy because she's hungry. School lunch will be her only meal today. It breaks my heart that this is the reality in our country, but it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. This food is then provided to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about using your imagination, learning, and having fun. These children shouldn't have to miss out on simply being a kid because they're hungry. To find out how you can help end childhood hunger in your community, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
The Pete Shepard Show. It's fun for the whole family, if it's dysfunctional.
Wow, welcome back to the final segment here of the Pete Shepard Show here on a Thursday. What a great show it has been so far. Thanks again to Jay Flannery. I hope everybody enjoyed that from BeavsWorld.com. Man, that is going to be great. We're going to do, I'm definitely going to have a weekly segment with him. He is absolutely fantastic. It's great to have somebody in Big Ten country, particularly someone who's there for the defending national champ, Michigan Wolverines. Jay says, thank you guys. Went great, LFG. Yeah, absolutely, Jay. Love it, love it, love it. one of my great sports radio callers, especially in Southwest Florida of all time. He used to call the national shows too on ESPN and rip the shit out of them, the guys at the time. But he's going to be joining us in Wiggs is going to be joining us in just a couple of minutes. So I wanted to play right before he comes on, Angel. I wanted to play the video that we played earlier today on the show because the Miami-Florida game is coming up, and Luke Campbell, who is a huge Miami Hurricane fan, the bad boy of hip-hop, founder of the South Hip Hop, Free Speech Supreme Court winner, and here's his take on the upcoming game this week at the Swamp.
Welcome, my good friends and countrymen, into my little place right here. It is Gator Week. It is University of Miami versus the Gators. It's not going to be a tropical storm that comes into Gainesville. It's going to be a category fucking A. Yeah, we're going to whoop y'all ass off. It's all about the U. It's all about the U. Them Canes. Welcome, my good.
Luther Luke Campbell, man, bad boy hip hop founder of the South Hip Hop, Free Speech Movement, Supreme Court. Like I said earlier, when he was I couldn't see without my glasses on. He was going to the U, logo. I thought he was playing with his nipple, but that's fucking awesome. That is great. And my man Wig joining us via video right now, the Pete Shepard Show. You know him, you love him, you've heard him stuff. You hear him still, I think, on with Craig and Chris on ESPN Southwest Florida on Wednesdays, but we do more video here than audio because we're with the Tides, baby. My man, Wig, how are you? A great Canes fan and a Miami Dolphin. How you doing, man?
Man, you already know what it is. You can't spell hurricane without the U, and you know it.
How you been, man? Long time. Well, not a long time.
That's why I'm glad I wore this hat. Cause you see that we run the state. We don't see now the school. See that? That ain't no chicken. That's an ibis. We going up to Florida to beat them Florida Geckos.
Oh, is that it? That's right. You said you had a name for it. No longer the Gators, the Geckos.
Yeah, the Florida Geckos. They about that little.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm heading up there. I've never been to the Swamp. I told you I'm going up there. Any chance you can get up there? No. I know you've been trying.
I mean, I already done had offers from a couple guys, but I don't want to be up there. You already know how it is with me. I'm liable to cause category 4 trouble up there between the fans. Well, win, lose, or snooze, I'm representing you.
Absolutely. Well, like I said, I don't want to say. I think there'll be a lot of friendly banter going on. I can't wait. But I did see you. I was thinking of you last week. I was watching Florida State lose to Georgia Tech. I was on Fort Myers Beach. I know. I think Craig was somewhere at Sidelines, which I love that place. And you were there amongst a lot of Florida State people, yakking it up. I loved it. I wish I could have been there with you. That had to be beautiful.
Man, you already. Hey, listen, man. Anytime FSU Fall Short University loses, I love to see when Fall Short University lose. So I'm gonna be there every time and agitate. Even with the Florida game, Florida ain't even been good. So it's like even if we beat them, how that's a notch under our belt. You see what I'm saying? They talk like they've been good, but they ain't been good since Tebow. They want to throw up trash, but trash was trash.
Yeah, but they had a decent preseason.
We ain't even gonna talk about the Shoe Bowl.
Oh, please. Well, you can talk about whatever you want. It's just great having you on, man. Now, I want to ask you because you're tied. Angel Martinez, exec producer, host extraordinaire. He's tied in. He's doing the Spanish play-by-play for the Orlando Predators and the Arena League. But I know down here you're tied in to high school football, amateur football. What's going on? And I know that you also know Deion Sanders, which I want to get to that, and your really honest thoughts, because I'm really disgusted with how he's treated this whole situation. And for a guy that finished 1-9 down the stretch last year, it wasn't like your team got better. You actually got worse as the season went on. But we'll get to that part. But tell everybody about, are you still involved down here in youth football and everything? I mean, I know you think you can outrun Tyreek Hill. I know you're one of those guys. But, but what are you up to?
You already know. Listen, man, you already know, like I said, I'm an athlete with a capital A. And for my age, you know what I'm saying, I'm built pretty nice and I do what I do. But as far as, the sport, man, down here, we always competing with the 305. But the 305, no, we just as talented. They're just bigger than we are as far as having numbers. You know what I'm saying? But per capita, we've had a lot of NFL players leave right out of the 239 Fort Myers alone, And as far as Deion, I'm always kind of side with Deion because that's my home guy. He's from here, and being an athlete and transitioning over to coaching side, I mean, I know you guys are in the media and you have to ask your questions, but sometimes how can word it sarcastic. Sometimes coaches don't even want to deal with that. And we know what you guys are trying to pull out of us, so sometimes we just stop it. So I'm going to kind of err on the side of Deion. I mean, especially if you're trying to – we did short. I'm saying we as a team, I'm just saying. But I don't need you scrutinizing my team with what I'm trying to do. And if you're not with me, then you against me. So I kind of feel what he's saying.
Yeah, but come on, but Wig, how do you think you would have handled the situation in Michigan? There's a lot of other coaches that have got. I mean, the reporter for Denver, and I saw him on Feinbaum's show yesterday, and he's like, maybe I should, maybe whatever he called a false prophet and all that stuff. Because he was quoting Deion back to Deion, he didn't like it. But man, there's a hell of a lot worse that has gone on in college football with coaches, and they have to deal with it every single day. If he wants to deal with this shit, and if he's going to leave, if one of the rumors is true, if he ever leaves, which I think he will, I don't think he's staying in Colorado once after this year. I think he's gone. How do you think he would handle coaching the Dallas Cowboys if he ever did get that job? If they did if McCarthy, if it ever came to that, I mean, he's in a really great situation where everybody's kissing his ass right now in Colorado. It ain't that way in big-time Power 5 programs. You're going to have to face the heat. You can't shut everybody out just because you don't like what somebody said. Now, you talk about somebody's kid or personally or a wife or a girlfriend, then all bets are off. But if we're just talking about the state of the football team on the whole, or he gets pissed off that somebody reported a domestic violence case, well, that's tough. That happened. How do you think fucking Urban Meyer had to deal with that 83 times? And I'm not an Urban Meyer fan by any stretch, but, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that happens in college football. He's got to be able to, great player, have all the respect for him as an athlete and all that stuff. But as a college coach, man, you got to be ready to face the fire, because that is not. If he's going to move on and coach in Colorado, move on to a Power 5 job for the NFL, he's going to have a lot thicker skin than what he's got now.
He probably would, but let me ask you a question, Pete. Being that you are a Patriot fan, why didn't you be this passionate when Belichick came up there with his 4-word answers?
Oh, I think. Well, first of all,
he wasn't a great interviewer. He was kind of borderline jerkish.
Listen, there's two different things.
Is it because he was winning?
No, we're not talking about. We're not talking about a great interviewer here. Deion's obviously a great interviewer. Being a great interviewer is one thing. Bill Belichick never banned reporters for asking questions. There's some reporters that he didn't like and some columnists, like every other coach. But he never banned anybody because don't talk about this and don't talk about that. We don't want you you're not allowed. And the fact that the school got away with it and let him get away with it is even more embarrassing.
Listen, I mean, in this game of coaches, we've all seen coaches do it their way, and if he want to go out like that, he's gonna go out like that. He's gonna do it his way. I mean, I can't see him going to the NFL. He might get the job, but like with most guys, they rather control, the college kids, because you can't go control grown men with millions of dollars. Even though I got off the subject as far as the interviewing, like I say, coaches all have been. You look at Mike Tomlin. He's a character. Coaches are just characters, and Deion himself have been a character his whole lifetime.
But I understand. I'm just saying, you start banning people because they're not saying nice things about your program. I mean, you gotta toughen up a little bit better than that. And I know he can. I mean,
he may listen. If after this year, who knows? But listen, do you take stripes off a zebra? Deion is Deion. I mean,
yeah.
You're not gonna make a guy who was because he's gonna always say it, Hall of Famer, one of the best cornerbacks, one of the best to ever play. You're not gonna make that guy come off a high horse, man. No matter how.
No, you're not gonna make him come off a high horse, Wig. But when you start 3-0 and then go 1-9 down the stretch. I mean, honestly, did you see improvement with that football team the last 9 games? I sure as hell didn't. They got whacked a few times too. So what does that say about him as a coach? He wants to have all this, do it my way and all that. Fucking anybody who went 1-9 down the stretch, I know it was first year there, but some coaches would have got fired in that spot if his name wasn't Deion Sanders.
Hey, I got it, but listen, don't you want to give him a second year to see what he?
Of course, but I've seen that schedule.
Especially at a program that I could see if he took a program that was good and he made it bad. Nobody ever talked about Colorado, even though he lost 9 games or whatever. But nobody ever. Now Colorado is. I think some of these programs would like to pay for relevancy too, because then you get the recruits.
Yeah, no question.
Now, let it play out. Let it play out. I mean,
I just hope he stays after this year. If he doesn't stay after this year, though, it's going to be. Do you really think he's going to stay after this year with his son leaving? Honestly, what's your gut feeling? Even gut. Just give me a gut feeling.
You got to remember. Remember, Nick Saban told the Dolphins he wasn't leaving, and 9 hours later, he was in.
I agree. All coaches lie in all sports. I agree. I've been through it a million times. I agree. But what's your gut feeling on him staying?
But like I'm telling you, I think he'll stay there because you know why? The way they've invested in Deion, and Deion bought that money now. Deion gonna stay with that money coming in. I think he gonna wait for his children to get them solidified in the league, and he gonna stay there. Depending on what this year looks like. Mm-hmm. Then the next year will be the 3 years. I think he'll be there over 3 years.
All right. Let's talk about
he wants to show that he improved like he did at Jackson State.
Sure.
So it was his first year. It's his second year.
We'll see how it goes. All right. Let's talk about this game coming up Saturday at the Swamp at 3:30. And Mario Cristobal, I know you and I. Every year we'd say the same, that this is it. This is going to be it, blah, blah, blah. First of all, I hope Tyler Van Dyke, I hope there's a blizzard every day in Wisconsin for every time he's out there. Second, I was so thrilled when Cam Ward came here. As soon as I heard, I'm like, he will be a Heisman Trophy finalist. He will be in New York with 3 or 4 other people when it's all said and done. I think it's the real deal. I've heard every interview he's done. I've played a lot of them on this. I love the recruiting class. Is phenomenal. We saw what Mario did his 3rd year at Oregon. I think it's going to happen this year with the U. The only one giving them a little bit of respect has been McElroy. He picked them ranked 8th in the country, ahead of Florida State, ahead of Clemson. I think Miami's going to be better than both of those teams. But I just wanted to hear Cam Ward is that guy. He's the real deal, man. He is the real deal. Finally,
yeah,
they got it right.
Yeah. Hey, well, I hope so. And I mean, he's another one too that, had a lot of expectations coming in, like you say, coming from Oregon. And he's been a great recruiter over the past, couple of years that he's been here. Now it's all just got to come to fruition. And he's gotten, from what I've been hearing and, from the people that I'm close to, the trenches is where he really invested a lot of his time with the D-line, O-line. So we should be ready. I mean, this is going to be a good test going up there to the ditch. I ain't even going to call it the swamp. It's more like the ditch.
Ditch.
So, yeah.
Oh man, you're priceless. You're priceless. So,
and you know, we got a lot of returning. We got Bain, the ACC Player of the Year. You know,
he's
a lot
awesome.
of people, you know, like he said, a lot of people know about the history of the Hurricanes, and they want to be part of their 30 for 30 if they happen to get another one that comes through here.
All right, fine. This has been awesome. Before I let you go, let me ask you about your Miami Dolphins. You're a huge fan. I know at one point you thought about painting your house the Miami Dolphin colors. I don't know if that ever came to fruition, but
okay. I did that.
You did? Next time,
I did that.
You're crazy. All right. So
I'm gonna send you the video.
Okay, definitely put it up. So, all right, tell me your honest thoughts about Tua Tagovailoa. Have you grown to love him? And what are you expecting out of him and your Miami Dolphins this year?
Listen, I've been a detractor of that guy, and I don't like the fact that he got paid money and we haven't won jack. And there's a lot of people, you know, bringing his name up with Dan Marino, and I don't even know how they do that. But, and you know, just like I had to tell this other guy the other day, Kenny, he led the league in passing. Yeah, but the quarterback that led the league in passing went to the Super Bowl. He didn't.
Yeah.
Every team that statistically led the league in yardage that year went to the Super Bowl. We didn't even go to Wawa's. So, I mean, he's gotten the money. He's gotten the weapons. Any quarterback would love to have all the weapons that we got. But at the end of the day, I'm just fearing that we're going to have to go cold track, whether if it's Baltimore, Kansas City, or Cincinnati. And like I argue with somebody, no matter how good we are, once it gets under 40 degrees, it's like we sardines off the shelf.
Well, you did win in Buffalo a couple of years ago. Right, one time you did win in Buffalo a couple of years ago. It wasn't freezing, but I hear you.
Listen, man, I know that. I just argue with a guy. Ricky ran for 251 yards, and I get that. But
the Kansas City game sticks out.
But, and when, like I say, if and I say this too, even if we win home field advantage in January, is it really home field advantage? These guys that's coming in from other places are going to be like, we love playing here. This is great weather. It's not like it's in September when it's 90. So people are saying, oh. So, I mean, until we win a playoff game, I said he got the money. So I want the expectations from the fans to be NFC Championship or bust. Because with 50-something million, all those weapons, we've been to the playoff 2 in a row. It's time to get over that cusp. It's time to get over that hill.
Mm-hmm. I got you, man. By the way,
just like the little guy said, he like Penix, but I think Penix is a little more mobile than Tua. Tua ain't gonna run to the mailbox.
Well, I've got your Dolphins winning the division this year, and then we'll see what happens. I think Buffalo will make the playoffs too. Obviously, my team is rebuilding; they stink. But I hope the Jets lose every single game. And I'm still not convinced of what they will do. But Wig, man, this has been awesome. Tell me we can do this again, soon. This has been great, and it was great reconnecting with you.
Oh man,
great
this
stuff.
Has been awesome, man.
Great stuff having you. Thanks for coming on.
Anytime y'all invite me, I definitely try to put it within my schedule because I got love for my guy Pete.
Yeah, you're busy. You got to fit a lot of people in your media time. You're a world famous caller from Southwest Florida. So I always appreciate your support, especially when you call the national shows and chew them out while talking about the fucking Brooklyn Nets for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Hey,
listen, this is what I said last week about the Florida State people too. I walked in and one of my friends was there and he was like, bro, it's kind of hot. It's kind of hot in here. And they said, yeah, this place need to work on this AC. And I looked around and I seen all the maroon shirts and I said, yeah, because Florida State ain't got no cool fans. I was getting popcorn thrown at me and everything. I said that one. So I was like, hey, fall short again.
Oh my God! I know I love Sidelines. I know that place, the big Steeler bar, but I know their big Florida State bar too. But I saw the video of you. I'm like, oh shit! I wish I was with them. I would have been doing shots every time.
And after the field goal went through, I ran right out in the middle of the crowd and threw it up the biggest Yay!
Love it. Hey, you gave me this hat, didn't you? Did you not give me this hat? It was either you or Otis. I thought you gave me this one.
I think I did. Yeah,
you did.
I think thank you, man.
Yeah, you gave me
for sure.
Several. You're always very generous to all of us. So anyway, all the best, man. Thanks so much. Let's do this again sooner rather than later. This was awesome.
For sure, man. I appreciate you. To all the Southwest Florida listeners, hey, man, y'all tune into this show. It's a great show. Pete's a great guy.
All right, Wade. I appreciate it, man. All the best. We'll talk soon. All right,
man. I'll have a good, great weekend.
I will. I'll send you a video from the swamp. It'll be fun. The ditch, as you call it. The ditch. That's good. All right, Wade. We'll talk to you. Man, Angel, that was like that hour and a half or whatever just flew by. And man, oh man. That's gonna wrap it up. I've lost my voice. Talking and laughing and everything else.
Oh, Wig is great. Are you kidding me? Like
I love him.
How is he not somewhere like either live? I don't care if it's a 15, 20-minute segment. I listen to him for 2 hours straight because there's nothing. When you get somebody that's opinionated and they put some fun energy into it, there's nothing better. Wig was awesome.
It was great, and we'll definitely have him on again sooner rather than later. Like I said, everybody down here in Southwest Florida knows who he is because he's just a fun guy to be around. Knows his shit. He's very close to the amateur football down here, high school coaches. He's very much tuned in, or tied in. So it's a lot of good stuff. Can't thank Wig enough. Jay Flannelly, BeamsWorld.com. Just awesome. We're going to do a weekly segment with him. There is no question about it because it is football season. And we are, Joey B says, I am busy after that segment. Great stuff. And like I said, I'll get Wig next time to take a picture of his wardrobe. I mean, he's got closets and closets full of Miami Hurricane and Miami Dolphin stuff. Every single hat, every single shirt, sweater that you could possibly think of.
Married the Kardashians in Boulder.
Oh God! What? Oh no! They going to the game tonight?
Oh
Joey?
Boy!
They're going to the game. I hope they wear North Dakota State gear.
Yeah, well, that's a loss for CU.
The Kardashians in the house. Seriously, they're going to the game. Are they tied into that program? So don't tell me Dion invited them or anything like that. I hope to Christ not. Anyway, all right, Angel. What else is coming up? What's coming up today? I mean, we got to get out of here. I got stuff to do. But what's coming up today on the network?
You got Jasmine guy said, great show, guys. Appreciate that. Appreciate Jay. That was a ball, a Super Bowl of energy as well. So thanks to Jay. Just like usual, some updates that I had to do because some things went squirrely yesterday. So I just got to get some updates done and to get stuff prepared and ready for tomorrow as usual.
Awesome, man. And great guest coming up tomorrow. Jimmy the Beef Guy coming your way at 9:05 a.m. and at 9:30. Catherine Tappan will join me from NBC Sports live from Ann Arbor. And we will talk about Michigan and Fresno State and other stuff going on in college football. She's a big part with Ian Eagle and Todd Blackledge on NBC Sports for that game of the NBC Game of the Week. Angel, have a great and safe day, my friend. I'll send you a reminder for links a little bit later on. And love it. Great job today, as always. Where's Mike? Where's Mike?
You hear Wig saying going to the ditch.
All right. Have a great and safe rest of your Thursday, everybody. I'm Pete. I'm back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Bye.